The report says an advisory council will now review the board and make recommendations. The White House accuses critics of bad faith smears, insisting that neither Jankowicz or the board have anything to do with censorship. COVID cases in the U.S. back over 90,000 in the 7-day average, up 26% the past 5 weeks. The White House COVID task force urging Americans to keep up the fight to help prevent mutations and more variants. Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Immunity does wane, and that is why it is so important to stay up to date with vaccines and particularly boosters.
Also emphasizing improving indoor air ventilation can help, and quarantining if you test positive. First daughter Ashley Biden tests positive for COVID. She had been scheduled to travel with the First Lady. America is listening to Fox News.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The unsettled weather is gone. Partly sunny skies going through our Wednesday afternoon. Kind of warm, though. 85 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, 65. Thursday, partly sunny, hot and humid. Nothing more than a pop-up afternoon storm that will be really tough to find. 89 degrees, 89 again on Friday, and back to a wet weather pattern Friday night and into Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
What you won't hear anywhere else.
What is with the new song playing at the end of the game, Beach Boys?
Okay, so Post-Dispatch said, oh, it's great that they're playing this. We've been playing it since January because at the Winter Classic on the 1st of January, the Blues wore beach gear.
Because it was freezing. It was like
it was below zero. And they wore beach gear to show that they were not intimidated by the cold.
Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
This is Wiggins. I've been to medical offices before where when you walk in the door, there's a palatable anxiety among the staff that I would assume it comes from the top down. Like if the doctor there is just not pleasant to work for, then the rest of the staff is just going to feel that too. And you're going to feel that when you walk in the door. And that's why I can confidently say that when you go to Fountains Family Dentistry, it's the exact opposite, which is great because it's not just that you don't notice some sort of like weird tension in the office. It's that they're so relaxed and so nice and it actually relaxes you. So if you have any sort of dental anxiety, Fountains Family Dentistry is a great place to go just because they're so nice. Everybody from top to bottom. Dr. Ty Parker, of course, sets that tone in the office. And then everybody around him, they get along. And you're going to notice that when you're in the office. Fountains Family Dentistry in Fairview Heights. So if you're on the Illinois side, highly recommend you make them your dentist office. FountainsFamilyDentistry.com.
Attention business owners. This is a public awareness message from the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team. The war against hackers and ransomware is underway. The only way to prevent the war from impacting your business is to speak with the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team immediately. You need to act now. The ThrottleNet cybersecurity team is prepared to protect you against cyber threats. Schedule a meeting right away by visiting throttlenet.com/cyberwar.
Millions of Americans are feeling the effects of high inflation at the fuel pump and at the grocery store checkout, and now it's starting to push more people, including retirees, back into the labor force. At Heise Advisory Group, we help our families be prepared before a major financial shock like inflation to help eliminate that fear of running out of money. If you're concerned about how inflation could impact your retirement plan, you're not alone. As your savings shrink, your cost of living may keep going up. but putting a plan in place can help you ensure your savings will last no matter what happens with inflation, taxes, and potential volatility. If you have concerns about how this may impact your retirement, give Heise Advisory Group a call today at 314-328-6000. And let us help you take the uncertainty out of retirement planning. That's 314-328-6000.
Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Hashtag More for Mental Health isn't just a hashtag. It's a movement to advocate for a future that places mental well-being at the forefront. We are demanding hashtag More for Mental Health at the local, state, and national levels. Together, we can create long-lasting change. Are you ready to join us? Visit moreformentalhealth.org to get started.
Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. Anytime, anywhere. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk on the go. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock. River views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. The Loading Dock on the river in Grafton, Illinois.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being here with us today. Appreciate it. Big day on the Annie Frey Show. We have Dinesh D'Souza on at 12:25. So in about 15 minutes from right now, we are going to be speaking with the author and the filmmaker of that documentary, I guess is what it would be, 2,000 Mules. I've seen it, and I encourage you to see it. And the way I classify this, and the way I'm going to say this to Dinesh when he comes on the show, is this is a perspective and a stitched together storyline pleading the case of what I've heard a lot of people suggest happened during the election in 2020. It's a perspective, it's a version. And what I would like to hear is people refuted. I don't know that it proves to me that anything happened, but we haven't even been able to have the discussion on it yet. And so we are going to talk with Dinesh D'Souza about what he's put together with 2,000 Mules. And I hope that you are there with us while we do that. And, it's one of those things that I know that the digital platforms that we're on, I know that a lot of them might not like it. So we're going to keep streaming on everything through that interview, but you're going to have to listen to us. If you can't pick us up on your radio, of course, 97.1 FM Talk is a great destination to take in the Annie Frey Show and the whole station. Just find us at 97.1. But the Odyssey app is right there for the downloading, and you can stream us live there. You're going to be able to hear that. And we're just going to put like a little pause, like almost like an elevator music situation on the digital platforms for that interview at 12:25. I also am excited to, well, I don't know if I'm excited. This is the whole poll question for today. And I'm curious what you guys think about this. This is kind of a look inside, maybe a look inside my head a little bit more than I generally will do here on the show. But my 6-year-old daughter tonight graduates from kindergarten, which, is a kindergarten graduation a really big deal? It is for me. It is for my baby girl. I know that's maybe not the same as a high school graduation, a college graduation, but I'm sad about this. It's bizarre. It's been bizarre to me. She is so excited to do this. Most of my kids, but specifically her, she obviously wants to grow up. She wants to get big and tall and strong and be a grown up, I guess. And it just seems like it's happening so rapidly. Time seems like it's flying by so rapidly. And I'm sure that many people listening to this show have had the experience of raising kids and have gone through this. But the poll question today for the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll is, should Annie's 6-year-old kindergarten graduation make her sad? Because I kind of feel sad about it. It's not like I'm not happy about it, but there seems to be a bit of sadness involved in it. And I guess maybe that's natural, but it's difficult. It seems like it kind of hurts a little bit. It just seems like time is flying by so fast. So kindergarten graduation tonight for the Frey family, for our Evelyn, who is 6. And I'll probably post a picture of her in her cap and gown tonight on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. So make sure you give us a like there, whatever it is on Facebook. Our Facebook page, I've had 3 people message me in the recent past, in the last month, a couple people on the show page, and then other people in my actual personal life who like my show, and they're like, I just wasn't seeing anything from you. And they went to the page and it wasn't liked anymore. So let's go back to talking about social media and how they are doing whatever it is that they do to make sure that certain people get suppressed. Well, the Biden administration was going to solve that problem, right? We were going to be subjected to the whims of the Disinformation Board. Well, that's now kaput. Biden administration Disinformation Board on pause amid free speech concerns. Oh, no sugar, Sherlock. This just in. The Biden administration just arrived at the fact that having some sort of I don't even want her to be a millennial. And I am a millennial, so when I insult them, it's actually kind of hurtful to myself. But how did you not see this coming? And there's so many songs. There's so much singing. This is a bad idea from the beginning. The Fox News report here, the Department of Homeland Security's Disinformation Governance Board is being put on hold after its establishment was announced to the public. And board director Nina Jankowicz, Scary Poppins, will resign. She's gone. She's toast. This is from, according to the AP. According to the Washington Post, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, made the decision on Monday, and that the following morning, the board's leader, Nina Jankowicz, had a resignation letter drafted. That was fast. That is Scaramucci level term. Whether Jankowicz ultimately decided to leave, DHS remains up in the air, the Post reported, as the department offered to let her stay, despite the agency suspending all groups that had been focusing on what the Biden administration refers to as mis, dis, and mal information, or MDM. I mean, I'm not making that up. It says MDM. Mis, dis, and mal information. So Nina Jankowicz is toast. I wonder if she's going to sing about it. Memory. All alone. I don't know the words to that song. I can't fake that. I'm not surprised by this. I guess I'm kind of surprised that it tanked as fast as it did. But there was never really any purpose to this. According to what they're saying, the DHS is defending Jankowicz against attacks from the right based on her past positions in social media posts, including casting doubt on the legitimacy of the New York Post reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop before the 2020 election. The Biden administration and DHS has come out and basically said that we were never really going to we never really gave this board or this person any actual authority to do anything. Well, what the heck? I mean, if that's not indicative of Democrat control of government, let's make it bigger. Let's employ enough people to be on a board so that they can monitor things that they can't do a dang thing about with your tax dollars. Yes, big government, this is what it looks like. So Nina Jankowicz is gone, and it's not sad. It's kind of funny. I'll be interested to see what she does next. She's probably going to get a show on CNN. That's my anticipation. She'll be a contributor of some sort.
I hope it's a musical.
I don't. Well, I won't know. Let's just be real about it. I won't possibly know. I can't. There's a couple things. There's a couple things in play here. The first is that I'm not the kind of person who would ever be like, I got a good idea. I want to sing a parody song about current events for the camera. and just for my audience, if I'm Nina Jankowicz, who I don't know what she's singing to. I don't know what she's performing for. So I don't relate to that mentality. I know people who do stuff like that. I know people who are very good at singing who put themselves out there like that. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not me. So I don't understand it. And I see that and I just think, oh my gosh, what if I did that? I'd be so embarrassed. But it's not me. It's her. But for the Biden administration to step in and be like, you know what we should do with this woman? Put her in charge. I can't follow that logic. And apparently it took them a hot second to arrive at the rest of the country's logic of, yeah, I don't think that this is right. Not to mention the fact that she's not even good at her job in the first place because she's been caught espousing disinformation or misinformation or malinformation. I don't know which bucket that went into, but just constantly repeating the lies that have been manufactured in the liberal media. She's out there harping on them. Isn't that what you would want somebody who is going to be like a truth police or something to be invested in truth? I mean, that's what I would want. It's pretty ridiculous and it's pretty amazing at the same time that she's gone already. The other big thing that happened last night was the primaries that took place across the country. And the Pennsylvania one is still undecided. Dr. Oz and Dave McCormick are in a dead heat, and chances are this is probably going to go to a recount. So we won't know yet. I, for one, am ready to know who the person running for Senate in Pennsylvania is. I, for one, am tired of talking about Dr. Oz. Bennett got, I think, 24% of the vote. So she showed up and had a reasonable amount of support. But it's like 31.3% and 31.1% between Oz and McCormick. And each time that I tuned in last night in the middle of watching the Blues game, it was kind of shifting back and forth. It looked like McCormick, from what I understand, because I got to it late, McCormick started with a lead and it just dwindled over the course of time. And then it turned out that Oz late at night ended up overcoming the McCormick one. And I found that ironic because that was the Trump endorsed candidate and it kind of like won late at night. All the votes are counted. So I don't know. I'm not saying anything. We're going to have Dinesh D'Souza on next. So we're going to find out from Dinesh about his film, 2000 Mules. You have not watched it yet, right, Brad?
I have not.
You were going to watch it last night.
Yep.
But you were at the Vitae Foundation event with me and Rachel Campus Duffy and Hannah was there. We got to meet Parker.
Yes, Parker was awesome.
Parker was awesome?
I like Parker.
It's Brad endorsed.
He's Brad endorsed.
Fair enough. Or as I've learned, we've also call him Mr. Wonderful,
Mr.
but
Wonderful.
Also Hannah refers to him as Park.
Park. Right. Now, I don't know what my endorsement means to Hannah, but
I think it matters.
I like Parker.
I don't know that if you didn't like him, she was just going to like, sorry, Parker, it's over.
No, I don't think that's the case at all.
No, but he's a very kind gentleman. I would maybe even go as far to say he was wonderful. So we got to see Rachel Campus Duffy speak last night. And what a pleasure it was to listen to her and her story and her dozens of kids, folks. She's got 9 kids. So it's not a goal of mine. I have 4. We're pretty good with that. But listening to her talk about real, honest, true feminism and being the party of supporting women, that's got to be the Republican Party. And the pro-life movement supports women. It's really that simple. So it was a real honor to have the opportunity to host for Vitae Foundation last night, a packed room at the Frontenac Hilton. It's just always great to be there. I've now done this with speakers have been Matt Walsh, Trey Gowdy, Jason Chaffetz, and Rachel Campus Duffy, and enjoyed each and every one of them. All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to connect with Dinesh D'Souza on the other end of this break. And I really would love to hear in your comments on the live chat if you've seen 2000 Mules and if you have questions that you might want me to consider asking Dinesh when we connect with him here in a minute. And while you're there, would you vote in the YouTube live chat poll? Should my 6-year-old's kindergarten graduation make me sad? Yes or no? Comment your thoughts there as well. Hannah's looking for him. We'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
You got something to hide. We gon' burn the whole house down.
97.1 is St. Louis's radio destination for information with perspective. It's where St. Louis and beyond comes to talk. Right here, right now. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you've bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
When you're looking to sell your home in the state of Illinois, man, you got Jen Teskey on your team. You are going to be in great shape. She's going to help you get that top dollar and help you honestly save money, getting your house ready to sell so that you don't spend it on things you don't need to do. She's got an amazing staff that's going to help photograph your home and make it shine in its absolute best light as well. I really trust Jen, and I know lots of people also who know Jen, and they love her. And there is an obvious reason why. When you meet Jen Teskey, you're quickly going to understand why she's had so much success going on 2 decades here, selling homes in the state of Illinois, buying homes, helping people like you buy homes as well. If you're looking to make a transition, maybe you want to downsize, maybe you want to expand. Jen Teskey is the person to reach out to. She is incredibly familiar with the Illinois side of the of the river. Glen Carbon, Edwardsville, Maryville, Collinsville, Troy, all of these different locations are right up her alley. So reach out to Jen Teskey with RE/MAX Alliance by calling or texting 618-541-1010. That's 618-541-1010.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Have you been suffering with foot pain, knee pain, low back pain, or plantar fasciitis? You may be thinking there's no way that something as simple as the Good Feet store can help you.
My feet would just ache, my back, my ankles. I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't.
Hey guys, can you hear me right now? I am talking to you off the air, but on the live stream. Fusion, hi, I see you. Can you guys hear me talking? Somebody comment and tell me you can, if you can. Can you hear me? Talking. Yes, Margie says yes, thank you. Oops. I'm not gonna air on the live stream here the Dinesh interview because I don't want my YouTube channel to get a strike. So go to the Odyssey app right now. If you can't listen on the radio, go to the Odyssey app and you guys can comment along and tell us what you think about the interview or ask questions about the Dinesh thing while he's on here. I'm going to be watching the comments, but just so that we can keep doing this thing here on YouTube after this, I want to make sure that I protect the channel. So I hope you understand. I know this sucks, but it's what I feel is best for us to be able to continue having this community here. So stick around right there, and I will put the radio show in full back on the live stream at about 12:45 or 12:50 whenever we get done talking to Dinesh. And if you want to listen and you don't have a radio next to you, obviously go to 97.1 FM Talk if you're in the St. Louis area and you have a radio. And if you don't, you can go to the Odyssey app. Anywhere you are, all the time, 24 hours a day, you can listen to 97.1 FM Talk right there. All right, we're getting connected with Dinesh. We're coming back to the studio. You guys talk amongst yourselves. can back on to the YouTube. Hey, YouTube, we're back.
All right.
Yep, we are back in the game. I appreciate Dinesh coming onto the show and being a part of this. And I'm the only one in my house who's watched 2000 Mules, and I know my family wanted to watch it, and I don't know if they've had a chance to yet. So I think maybe I would like to go back to the theater again.
Yes.
To see it.
I'm planning on doing that this Friday.
So maybe I'll have to pick a date and a time and tell y'all that I'm going to go. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I'll think about it.
That one will sell out.
When we come back, we're going to be speaking with Thomas Helbig, my friend Thomas Helbig. I cannot wait for next Tuesday at the Frontenac Hilton, another Protecting Your Retirement educational event. I love going to these things. And Mark Cox and Mark Reardon are going to be there with me. And I get to meet you. And that is what makes me the most excited. And you get to learn a lot about protecting your retirement, of course. And it's free. And there are snacks. And I get to meet you. Those are all the positives. So stick around. We're going to talk with Thomas Helbig here in a minute. So don't go anywhere. And go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote in our live chat poll. Should my 6-year-old's kindergarten graduation make me sad? Because it is. Am I having irrational emotions about this? I'd love your thoughts. Leave your comments. Vote in the poll. We'll be back in a minute.
I move with my head, I open my mouth, and it's something I've read.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Something I felt, use what I feel, something that's real. Tried to sell my soul last night. Honey, you wouldn't even take a bite.
The Mark Reardon Show.
It's just unacceptable to have baby formula available all over the world except in the United States because of a decision the government made.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
You've never had a filet mignon until you've had an Andrea's Steakhouse filet. And if you get the big one, it is the size of a softball. I kid you not. The way I like them cooked, this is Ryan Wiggins, by the way. The way I like them cooked is a little bit crispy on the outside, which you can only get by having that Andrea's brush on steak sauce. And when you do it at the restaurant, it's fantastic. And then red on the inside because you get almost 2 different tastes in the same steak. It is unbelievable. And you have to have a professional to do it that well. But if you're not a professional, one of the great things about Andrea's steak sauce is I call it the great equalizer because you can put it on any protein in your house and make it way, way better. You can make it taste like a restaurant grade protein. Chicken, fish, beef, of course, steaks. That's what they're known for. Whether you're doing it inside or you're grilling because it's grilling season, Andrea's steak sauce is the way to go. Get a bottle at Schnucks, Deerberg, Straub's, or you can get it also at the restaurant or andreas.com.
Wealth changing question. Is your advisor giving you incomplete advice? Besides investing, there's also taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other elements that can be stressful to organize. At Creative Planning, we provide all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house, ensuring all aspects of your wealth are working harder together so you can enjoy your wealth instead of worrying about it. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
This is a great time of the year to upgrade the energy efficiency in your home with my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here to tell you more about my experience with Window World. They replaced a couple of windows at my house. They were just panes of glass. We wanted to be able to get some airflow into the master bathroom. They came out, they gave us a free estimate, and then had the windows at seams installed in no time. Very professional, lifetime warranty I get, and you get an extra double strength glass on their replacement windows that's not common. So you're getting a great price, simply the best for less. They do front entry doors, rear entry doors if you're looking to replace that back door or sliding glass door in your home. They've got a great selection at Window World. They're also right now offering 18 months, same as cash financing, of course, with approved credit. The preferred window of the St. Louis Blues, 314-993-1800. windowworld.com.
I tend to second guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools.
It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Veterans, whatever you're going through, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach. Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Back in the car and back on the road. We're with you. Dependable traffic with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Break down, come on.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Well, don't waste time. Give me a sign. Tell me how you want to roll. I want somebody to speed it up for me, then take it down slow. There's enough room for both. Well, I can handle that.
What we need to see, which is a really clear and convincing evidence that inflation is coming down. That's what we really need to see. So we'll be watching for that. If that involves moving past, broadly understood levels of neutral, we won't hesitate at all to do that. We won't. And honestly, we will go until we feel like we're at a place where we can say, yes, financial conditions are in an appropriate place. We see inflation coming down. We'll go to that point, and there won't be any hesitation about that.
The Fed is not going to hesitate to keep raising rates until inflation comes down. And I am not an economic genius. I save money and I invest in my retirement because I hope one day to retire, but I am a little bit further away from that than maybe you are. And that's why I go to the experts. When I'm looking at the television screen, Fox News is saying that the stock market is down over 1,000 points. I go, ooh, I wish I had somebody here who could explain that to me. And then Thomas Helbig and his nephew Kershaw here comes right into the studio to explain all of it for us. Thank you guys for being in here.
Thank you for having us. Thanks for having us.
Before I get to the details of that, I want to remind you that the Protecting Your Retirement educational event that I will be at is next Tuesday. And I want you to make sure that you reserve your spot. Go to retirementkey.com and all of the information is there. I'll give you the specific details at the end of this conversation. Thomas, I'll start with you. Yikes, 1,000 points down. And this isn't like new information for this year.
No, it isn't. With what's going on with inflation out of control, gas prices, the Fed has to keep raising interest rates. And here's the scary part, and everybody knows that that's listening out there. The Fed is going to increase interest rates 7 times this year. Every time they do that, watch the market 7 times this year. Now, they've already done it twice. Next month in June, they're even talking about raising it 3/4 of a point instead of just a 0.5 point. Watch what happens to the market when that happens. It's going to drop further. I'm constantly researching and reading articles of finance and what all the big people on Wall Street are talking about. I downloaded this article here, and I'd like to read a couple bullet points if you don't mind. It said the S&P 500 has gotten crushed in a widespread sell-off, and the index is likely to tumble even lower before it starts to rebound, according to Bank of America analysts. In recent analyst note, Bank of America chief investment strategist Michael Hornet said, based on historical market trends, there could be months ahead of pain ahead for investors. The index has plunged in recent weeks as concerns over sky-high inflation, rising interest rates, and a darkening economic outlook continue to weigh on the market. Here's what Bank of America, as well as Fannie Mae and Deutsche Bank said. They're the top Wall Street firms forecasting a major downturn in the next 2 years. So, folks, the key is, and why I'm saying this, I'm not here to sell gloom and doom. There are solutions. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, come to our event next week. We're going to teach you the strategies that have been around for 27 years to show you how you will never lose a dime with your money in the market, but you'll still position when the market rebounds to make money.
Bob, you've been part of this family business and you are helping Thomas Helbig. You're part of the success that he has had with so many people who listen to this show specifically.
Yes.
And this station. What do you think when you see these numbers, 1,000 points down, and along with everything else that that I haven't?
Annie, it's really scary. We're all looking at the same thing, and it doesn't take a crystal ball to see what is going to happen. We are heading towards a bear market, and it's important that everybody out there, you've spent your whole life saving this up. You don't want to take a chance of losing 40 or even 50% of your life savings. Let us educate you on how you can keep that principal safe by still positioning yourself for market gain. That's what's important. You have to keep that principal safe.
So, Thomas, when people are looking at the economy right now, we have Stephen Moore on every Monday. We know that the economy shrunk last quarter. We know that another quarter means recession. Is that inevitable? Is a recession inevitable?
It's scary. In recent analyst note, once again from Bank of America, there are growing fears that the Fed will trigger a recession. Hiking interest rates tend to create higher rates on consumer and business loans, which slows the economy by forcing employers to cut back on spending. That's the thing. They're in a balancing act right now. They're trying to fight off inflation, but at the same time, it could create a recession.
Look what happened when they just raised them last month, and now they're going to raise them again in June. So it's just a matter of time.
So, I was talking to you a little bit before we went on the air. I'm 38 years old. Time is on my side.
You have plenty of time.
Thank you. Keep saying that.
Don't even worry about it.
Because I fear that one day people are going to be like, I'm going to say that like, oh, I'm young. And they're going to go, well, and I'm going to go, what do you mean? Well, come on, go back to where you're
here's
still
the difference.
young.
At your age, when you're in your 30s and 40s, the markets do come back so you can weather the storm. And the advantage of when the markets do crash, you're buying, it's called dollar cost averaging. What you can't afford to do is if you're 3 to 5 years away from retirement or you're already retired, because you'll never recover. You don't have time on your side. So that's the difference. And that's why we only work with retirees and pre-retirees. So for your sake, you're good.
What age? What are we talking?
55.
Or what are the
above.
requirements?
It depends on when your retirement date is. If you're retiring at 59, 60 years old, I would say at 55, start getting more conservative.
I have a question here from Hunter, and he said, what is the minimum you require new clients to
We
bring
do
in?
not have any minimums. We work with everybody. We love what we do, and we help everybody. We have people that come in with $50,000 to the name, and we show them how to get it safe. And that $50,000 means everything to them.
No
So
matter
we have
what
no
it is,
requirement.
it's their life savings.
That's your life savings.
So
That means
it's
everything to
important.
them. So we do not have a requirement. We'll work with you no matter what.
Bob, I don't know if you experienced this when you were working with clients, but I wonder how many people are, maybe by the time they get to you, obviously they're over this, but I bet people are potentially embarrassed that maybe they have too small of a little nut, that when they bring it to you, that they're not going to get treated the same way, or maybe they have no idea like where their savings. I would imagine there are people who have saved up a lot and they don't realize that they've actually done. I'm going to say this to the 97.1 listener and the Annie Frey Show listener, because I think they're responsible people who know to prepare for the future, and they understand sacrificing along the way so that their future is prepared for, and they're not relying on somebody else to show up at the bottom of the ninth and take care of everything for them. But the unknown of taking, it's just very exposing of
It
yourself
is.
to come in and say, here are my finances. That's kind of a scary thing.
Some people don't really realize what they have. And I mean, let's face it, everybody has been taught forever to leave your money on Wall Street. So they're used to keeping it on Wall Street. They don't realize, none of them really realize the amount of fees they're paying every single year. So when they sit down with us and we educate them on what they're paying and how we can eliminate those fees while still keeping their principal safe and giving them an option to grow, it gives them just that peace of mind to know, wow, I can go to sleep. I don't have to worry about this now.
It's called a worry-free retirement.
It
That's
is.
what we do.
You've worked with a lot of 97.1 listeners.
All of our 97 listeners are our clients. I'm not saying all, but 99% of our clients are from 97.1. I'm proud to say that. We're a family. We really are.
And I think that there's a consistency of 97.1 listeners. For instance, the event that we're going to have next Tuesday, 6:30, Frontenac Hilton. You do have to reserve your spot, folks. So I need you to call 314-993-9494, or you can just go to online to retirementkey.com. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you do. I always like the Annie Frey Show to have the most people in the room. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
And it's a free event, folks.
With
It's free.
snacks.
It's only yes. And it's only 45 minutes. We even have a little trivia at the beginning, give out some t-shirts. It's fun.
Mark Cox and Mark Reardon will be there along with me, and we show up. The event starts at 6:30. You're super respectful of people's time. But Mark and I get there at 6. Mark Reardon gets there as close to 6 as he can, because obviously he's on the radio. And from 6 to 6:30, I try to meet as many of you as I possibly can. So it's, and again, a free event. But when all of those people get in a room together, and the 97.1 listeners are a family in a room together, it makes a lot of sense.
It makes great sense. And everybody just loves it. Everybody's happy, and we all have the same beliefs. We really do.
So you're saying real quick, we got to go in like 45 seconds here, but it's not too late to get your act together, even though the economy looks like it's in free fall.
No, it isn't. It's never too late. Get your life savings protected. Learn these strategies, how to save the fees, and learn how to not lose any more of your principal in your 401k, your IRAs, or things like that.
Don't wait till you've already lost to finally do something.
It's never too late.
Yeah, get in there now. Well,
sign up for this event because they're filling up fast, the seats.
Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw here in studio with us. It's the Retirement Advisory Group, and the event, I want to tell you right now, is Tuesday, May 24th, 6:30 p.m. at the Frontenac Hilton, and you need to call 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. Flood their phones, folks. Make the Annie Frey Show proud. You always do anyway. RetirementKey.com. Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
We'll talk to you soon next week. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
What kind of Republican says he supports Black Lives Matter strongly and passionately? The kind of Republican who voted Democrat in 7 of the last 8 primaries. The kind who said this about Obama's election.
Our black vote would make such a difference in this country that would elect a black man to presidency in 2008 with Barack Obama made history.
The kind of Republican who says this about J.B. Pritzker.
It is my honor to bring to the podium a great friend,
a great leader who has guided our state with professionalism and compassion.
What do you call a Republican like Richard Irvin, who says he strongly and passionately supports Black Lives Matter? The Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund president says you call him unqualified.
The organization Black Lives Matter is a successful shakedown for money. It just promotes a Marxist philosophy. Supporting that organization should be a disqualifier.
What do you call a Republican like Richard Irvin, who supports Black Lives Matter, Obama, and Pritzker? You call him a Democrat. In the Republican primary, vote for a Republican. Vote no on Richard Irvin. Paid for by people who play by the rules pack.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
This is a Fox News alert, a 1,000-point plunge. I'm Lisa Brady. The same issue keeps coming back around on Wall Street. Inflation. Right now, the Dow is down 1,075 points, a slide fueled by a sell-off in retail stocks after Target's dismal first quarter report, plunging profits blamed in part on rising costs.
There's only one way to get out of inflation, and that's to slow down the economy. And the economy will slow. The markets are starting to reflect that. It'll be up and down.
Fox Business's Charlie Gasparino, both the Dow and the S&P tumbling more than 3%, the NASDAQ down more than 4%. An idea heavily criticized by Republicans is put on hold by the Biden administration.
The Department of Homeland Security is pausing a disinformation governance board, and the board's director, Nina Jankowicz, has resigned. The moves follow weeks of criticism from Republicans who dubbed the governance board a ministry of truth, straight out of a George Orwell novel. The administration defended the new board's work, arguing it followed work done by previous administrations to study the spread of disinformation. But critics questioned why Jankowicz was tapped to lead that effort, noting previous social media posts dismissing stories about a laptop belonging to the president's son, Hunter Biden. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
One of the most closely watched primaries in the country isn't over yet in Pennsylvania, where it's too close to call between Trump-endorsed Senate hopeful Dr. Mehmet Oz and former businessman David McCormick.
And when you look at it right now, Dr. Oz has a less than 2,500 vote lead ahead of McCormick. That's a lead that has been shrinking. It's less than a 0.5% difference, which would trigger an automatic recount. But first, they have to finish counting the ballots.
Fox's Brian Yennis in New Hope, Pennsylvania. Both campaigns say they're confident and optimistic. America is listening to Fox News.
I tend to second guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The unsettled weather is gone. Partly sunny skies going through our Wednesday afternoon. Kind of warm, though. 85 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, 65. Thursday, partly sunny, hot and humid. Nothing more than a pop-up afternoon storm that will be really tough to find. 89 degrees, 89 again on Friday, and back to a wet weather pattern Friday night and into Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's happening right here, right now.
You know, we have no plan. They have no plan to bring down energy prices today.
Can you regulate speech on the internet without violating free speech?
You don't have to regulate speech. You can regulate misinformation.
Right here, right now.
The average number of Dropbox visits was 38. We're able to match the Dropbox pings with the video, and you see it for yourself.
Just 16% say the country's headed in the right direction.
97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to our show. Okay, contestants, who's the only true conservative Republican running for governor? Is it Richard Irvin? No way. Richard Irvin is a lifelong liberal Democrat. Irvin voted for Barack Obama in the Democratic primary for president. And Irvin called J.B. Pritzker a great leader and great friend. It's definitely not Irvin. Jesse Sullivan? Wrong again. Sullivan is a longtime Democrat and is supported by liberal billionaires in San Francisco. Darren Bailey? Correct. Darren Bailey is the only true conservative Republican for governor. Bailey is a lifelong Republican who voted for Trump for president. Bailey opposed every tax increase in Springfield and took on J.B. Pritzker to protect our freedoms. Darren Bailey, the only true conservative Republican for governor.
Paid for by Bailey for Illinois.
Introducing EarLens, a new approach to the treatment of hearing loss that uses a tiny custom-fit lens to gently vibrate the eardrum without surgery. That means EarLens gives you 2.5 times the audible bandwidth of traditional hearing aids for dramatically better speech understanding. EarLens may result in improved hearing, even in noisy listening situations. To learn more, go to earlens.com today. That's EARLENS.com and register for a free virtual consultation. That's earlens.com.
You know, in life, you can count on three things: death, taxes, and your car breaking down at some point. Mark Cox here. I can't do anything about the first two, but I can help you with the car breaking down. That's why I have Car Shield. So be like me. When something goes wrong, I count on Car Shield to save me from expensive repairs. If you've ever had a transmission go out or a major electrical problem in today's cars, you know what I'm talking about. Car Shield offers protection plans for about $100 a month that cover more than ever before, whether your car has a few thousand miles on it or 150,000 miles. So when you need a repair, you don't deal with the paperwork. You just choose the mechanic to do the work, and Car Shield administrators handle the rest. When your car breaks down, you can count on Car Shield for help. Get coverage like I did. Go to carshield.com/Cox or call 800-391-8888 to save 10%. That's carshield.com/Cox or 800-391-8888.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock. River views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. The Loading Dock on the river in Grafton, Illinois.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
18 and 94, those were three bad Democratic years when there was a Democrat in the White House, 18 and 6 when there were Republicans in the White House. So you can see where we are. So where are we right now with the new NBC News poll? The wrong track, sitting at 75%. This is obviously in shellacking territory.
Shellacking territory for the Democrats. We watched the primaries come to pass yesterday, and in Texas especially, I saw some serious voter turnout for the Republicans and not so much so for the Democrats. And we're going to continue to watch this as we get closer. And the only thing that's going to stop the shellacking territory from being breached by the Republicans here is if the Democrats and the Biden administration were to get anything on track. I don't know what that thing would be. Maybe Deroy Murdock knows what that thing might be. Fox News contributor Deroy with us each Wednesday here again. Deroy, welcome back to the show.
Annie, how are you? Great to talk to you.
Doing okay. You know, I'm looking around for something positive to talk about for this administration. Coming up empty here.
You know, you mentioned earlier, is there any chance the Democrats can save their skin and November if they can get anything right. I hope they do. We don't want to see our country and our countrymen suffer, but I think things could get a lot worse between now and November. I'm looking right now at this second. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down about 1,000 points roughly. We've got gas prices and diesel prices at the record highest prices ever. I see just now that 2 babies have been hospitalized in Tennessee because I guess their parents either couldn't get them baby formula, that diluted it, I'm not sure what, so the babies are sick in the hospital. The Abbott Laboratories baby formula factory is supposed to reopen in a couple of weeks, but it's going to take them time to ramp up and produce this stuff. So we may not see any relief at the store shelves for people looking for baby formula for another 4 to 6 to 8 weeks. Who knows what chaos will ensue overseas. And I don't see any effort on the part of Biden and company to do anything constructive or sensitive about energy other than apparently beginning talks with Venezuela to begin importing more Venezuelan oil while we've got the stuff sitting right under our feet right here. And then I believe it's Monday, Title 42 is supposed to end. And the southern border, which you thought was wide open now, is just, I guess, going to be completely, utterly erased. And the entire world will move into the United States. So come November, who knows? We could have $7 or $8 per gallon gas prices. Maybe the baby formula will have kicked in by Labor Day, I hope. And we could have, who knows, another 2 or 3 or 4 million brand new Americans having crossed the border into the United States. And if all those things are going on, the Democrat Party, I hope, will suffer the massive, not just shellacking, but utter burial they deserve.
We're speaking with Deroy Murdock, the Fox News contributor. Deroy, you're listing all of these things really that the Biden administration is not paying attention to and not fixing. And then we pivot to what they are paying attention to and where their focus is. Each and every day, we see that Nina Jankowicz has resigned her position. Scary Poppins, as I've heard her refer to from her ridiculous songs that she put on the internet and somehow used that as a way to get herself to the disinformation board. I look at how quickly this thing rose and just dramatically fell. Makes me feel a little bit better about the American people's interest in preserving free speech, because the massive backlash had to have had something to do with the pausing of this board.
Yeah, there was a huge backlash, not just on the right, but even people in the center and maybe even a few people on the left thought this is out of control, inappropriate, Orwellian. And you saw people like Bill Maher and a bunch of comedians come out against this thing. And I think at some point people in the White House thought, okay, let's cut our losses and just throw this thing overboard. So it's good to see them respond to criticism, but they never should have come up with this idea. Whoever brought this up in a meeting should have been, okay, why don't you take the rest of the day off and give some deep thought and come back to work once you got your head screwed on straight. But they just dove deep into this thing with both feet. It blew up when they landed on the landmine, and now with any luck, this idea has gone away, and they won't keep coming up with dumb ideas like this. The Department of Justice just started a new, I think as of last week, racial justice bureau or division, and they're going to look at not racial justice, not correct. Environmental justice. That's it. Environmental justice. So I believe they're going to have a brand new environmental justice wing at the Department of Justice. What they ought to be doing is stitching the border back up. So if people want to come to America, they do what my mother and father did when they came from Costa Rica in 1962 rather. You go to the U.S. Embassy, you fill out the paperwork, and we're ready to give you a visa. We'll give you one, and then you can come to the United States. That's not asking too much. That's what every other country on earth expects. They very easily could say, look, we went too far with the oil stuff. You got to be clean when you drill. Let's make sure we're not polluting any more than is absolutely necessary. And let's put people back to work and begin producing our own energy again and do something about this inflation, which is eating this country alive. If Biden and company do that, they may be able to save their bacon somewhat, but I don't see any effort on any of these people to do anything right. I mean, they just seem to be going even further over the cliff at increasing levels of speed.
It's amazing to watch the lack of awareness, or maybe the alternative is true. The willful ignorance is maybe purposeful. It's so bad that you have to ask yourself the question. Speaking right now with Deroy Murdock, I'm curious if you think that the Republicans need to pretty much just keep quiet and let the Democrats lose the midterms, or if the Republicans are successfully putting together a message to win the midterms this November.
Well, I think the latter, which is good news. I attended the Moore County Republican Lincoln Reagan dinner on Sunday. That's in Moore County, North Carolina, in the Pinehurst, Southern Pines area. Had the pleasure of speaking with Congressman Dan Bishop and Robert Hilton, I believe is his name. I may be off on that name a little bit. Anyway, he is. They're both congressmen from North Carolina, and they told me that the GOP in the House is working on developing sort of a contract with America type situation. Richard Hudson, let me correct that name, Richard Hudson, member of Congress, and they're developing sort of a contract with America type list of proposals on which the Republicans will agree. I think they'll to sit down physically and sign the thing in public to show their level of commitment to this. And you'll have the GOP actually running on a specific agenda rather than 435 different agendas in every district in the country. And if they do get elected, then they will have a governing document and roadmap for what they should do once they sit down. And I hope the Republicans are in control in the House and even more so in the Senate, and they can begin going through these pieces of legislation, passing them and putting them on Joe Biden's desk. He may likely veto many of them, but who knows? He may sign some of them, and if they do have the votes to override, they'll go into law whether Joe Biden likes it or not. And if nothing else, it will give the country an even clearer perspective of the positive, constructive efforts that the GOP has towards maintaining this country's freedom and prosperity or restoring them. And what the Democrats are doing, which is just making a complete wreck of everything they touch.
Deroy, I think it's important for voters to realize in November that the Senate, the third of the Senate that will be elected in November, will be there for 4 years of the next president, whether Joe Biden runs again and wins or an alternative is in there, a Republican is in there. There are a lot of races that are going to have huge, huge implications on what takes place in the future. And I've seen a lot of good candidates emerging from what I've observed. I've seen some controversial candidates as well. I know Madison Cawthorn lost his primary last night. It seems to me that voters are looking to win this midterm, maybe a little more focused than they have been in the past because they know what's at stake.
Yeah, it's absolutely vital. I think it's very important to follow Bill Buckley's prescription as to what Republicans ought to do and conservatives ought to do when they go to the polls, which is to pick the most conservative candidate who can win. You can pick somebody who's a great conservative, right on all the issues, rah-rah, breathes fire, and then loses in November. And then some liberal gets in and just creates problems. So I'm not saying we need to put in a bunch of rhinos, but you want to put in a good conservative who will vote and conservatively introduce conservative ideas, and but also has an opportunity and a good chance of winning in November because a Republican in office is much more effective than a Republican out of office. And as I explained in a piece I did for the American Spectator, which just posted yesterday, what ultimately needs to happen is I think the Democrat Party is a completely spent shell. They have nothing good to offer. And between November 22 and November 24, after I hope massive losses, they basically need to be retired to the Smithsonian and put behind plexiglass in the American Museum the National Museum of American History. They're done. They just need to be between the Whigs and the Know Nothings and on display between Dorothy's ruby slippers and Archie Bunker's easy chair.
What a great exhibit that would be to observe.
Wouldn't that be?
Deroy, last question before we let you go. Race is always a huge issue for this party. The Democratic Party wants to make it the priority issue for people to consume everything through the lens of race before you think about anything else. And this tragic shooting that has occurred in Buffalo, New York, is very, very hard to take in the details of this. It's an awful, tragic experience. And, the obvious thing that happens in our discourse is it becomes a political conversation, and we very quickly forget the details of this specific incident. It just goes into the salad of tragedies that we've seen take place over the course of years. And I just wondered if you had any comments on what took place and how you feel it fits into the political conversation.
Well, as always happens in these things, there's very often a rush to misjudgment, and the left says, oh, look, it's a bunch of mega people killing folks and so on. And very often it turns out that there either is no political connection or the person's just plain old insane. The killer in Buffalo left a pretty long manifesto with a lot of disgusting racist comments, but there have been some good pieces. One, I believe in Town Hall that I read yesterday, indicating that I believe he says the terms words conservatism is dead, and said that he agrees with conservatives on some areas, but he's open to the idea of being a socialist. So this may have been some kind of a bipartisan killer for all we know. But the real story here has to be that we need to have more faith in the police. The whole defund the police idea where we're going to have law enforcement just tied to their desks isn't working, as we see homicides shooting up in cities all around the country, including St. Louis and including New York, where I live. And we need prosecutors who actually lock people up rather than the folks like Kim Fox in Chicago and Alvin Bragg in Manhattan and Chesa Boudin in San Francisco and these others who let the criminals back on the street, who then go on and, surprise, surprise, commit more crime. There was a case in South Carolina just last month where a man walked in a shopping center. He shot 9 people. He didn't kill anybody, but he shot 9 people. And he was back on the street after paying $25,000 bond after the next day after shooting 9 people.
That's
what
wild.
on earth is that? That has to stop. And I think we need a reinvigoration of the idea of law enforcement and law and order in this society. And if we stick with the Democrats' truly deadly idea of defund the police, demonize the police, and have these prosecutors engage in basically criminal defense work, we're going to see more of the bloody chaos like we saw in Buffalo, unfortunately.
Well, we definitely need to put a stop to it. And I, for one, am open to any solutions that people want to put forth that actually stop these things from happening. I get really tired of the this is another feather in the political cap that people put on. And it's just such an abuse of the victims and the families of the victims as they mourn. So I wanted to give you opportunity to comment on it. And I thank you for doing that. Deroy, we always look forward to talking to you. We'll get you again next week.
Okay, Annie, very good. Good to talk to you. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Deroy Murdock, Fox News contributor. I'm going to share with you that American Spectator article that he put together. It's a really good one. And you should give it a read. And you can tweet. I don't know if Deroy's on Twitter. He's with Project 21, which is a great organization that you can look at. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's not on Twitter, but you can get it Project 21.
Smart man. You can tweet it at us and we'll retweet it. Let's take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show in just a minute. If you haven't voted in the YouTube live chat poll, I'm basically, I guess, using my 3 hours here on the show and my connection to you for therapy. It sounds like. Should my 6-year-old's kindergarten graduation make me sad? Don't worry, be happy, I guess. Come vote on the poll and then leave a comment if you have some advice to lend. I am reading all comments. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. .1 is St. Louis's radio destination for information with perspective. It's where St. Louis and beyond comes to talk. Right here, right now. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Anytime I have the opportunity to talk to you about how you can save some money on a purchase that you might have in your future, I absolutely want to do that. Air Comfort Service has set you up with a great opportunity to access Carrier Cool Cash rebates. Knowing that the hot weather is here, I don't know if it's going to be super hot today, but it's been warm already, and you want to be prepared for when it is. It's St. Louis, you know it's going to be cold today and hot tomorrow, or vice versa, and humid. Your comfort zone is in your house, and you pay to heat your house, you pay to air condition your house, but you got to make sure that the money that you're putting into that the system's actually working correctly. That you can have the maintenance done, the tune-up done that you need on your unit to make sure that it is functioning correctly and that you aren't throwing money out the window to heat and cool your house and not have it working functionally. But if you need to replace it, which I had to do in the last year or so, I trusted Air Comfort Service to give me a full assessment of the situation, and they gave me options on fixing it and replacing it. We chose to replace. Those Carrier Cool Cash rebates, double Carrier Cool Cash rebates, are going to help save you lots of money on this, and they also have 0% financing options available as well. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Politician Darren Bailey calls himself a conservative, swears he's a believer, but look closely at his record. Bailey's a deceiver, the textbook definition of a dishonest politician hiding his record. For instance, Bailey was caught on tape admitting he voted for Joe Biden. In his own words, listen.
I might have voted for Biden.
Biden for president?
I might have voted for Biden.
What kind of conservative votes for Joe Biden? The fake kind. Darren, the deceiver. But Bailey's a believer when it comes to one thing, property tax hikes. Voted 13 times to raise property taxes, increasing 81%, even higher than Chicago. Jesse Sullivan's no better. Claims to be conservative, yet Sullivan backed Obama for president. His campaign's propped up by Pritzker Democrats, just like Bailey's. Sullivan even founded a group pushing open borders and amnesty for illegals. Sullivan and Bailey, not true conservatives, no matter what they say. Paid for by Irvin for Illinois.
The Fed has raised rates.
But there's still time to put extra cash in your pocket with a cash-out refinance from Golden Oak Lending.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With home values at all-time highs and our low rates, you can pull more cash out of your home.
Call 314-567-GOLD today, while Golden Oak still has millions of dollars available.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
Frederick Roofing, wherever you live, from Alton to Afton to Collinsville to Cottleville, Clayton to Creveport, your city and more. Webster to Wildwood, the one you know. Frederick Roofing, wherever you go. For a hole in your roof, or a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000. Aren't you tired of hearing ads that say they're the best, they're the experts, blah, 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 just one unsubstantiated claim after another? Well, here are two substantiated claims that actually mean something if you need roof repair or a new roof. With a family-owned business tradition of over 80 years and 80,000 satisfied customers, you can depend on Frederick Roofing, residential or commercial.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
Gentlemen, spring is here. Recapture your vitality with Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. They're going to make it easy for you because they get rid of the excuses. They've got a brand new location that brings them to 3 locations close to you, one in Wing Haven and O'Fallon, Missouri, the other one in Town and Country there near Clayton and 141, and the original location off Greenmount Road in O'Fallon, Illinois. Book your appointment today. Go online to victorymenshealth.com.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
Times my body.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
But this morning, there's a calm I can't explain. The rock candy's melted, only diamonds now remain.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Got a cool message from Doug to the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. And he said, I'm really glad I attended the governor candidate forum last Saturday. I've been all in for a certain candidate for over a year. I was super impressed with both Sullivan and Solomon. The forum helped me decide what I needed to back a new candidate. So interesting that they were there and it shifted their thoughts and perspectives.
Yeah, that's incredibly interesting.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't watched it yet, it's on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. You can watch the whole governor debate. It's 2 hours. And Darren Bailey, Gary Rabine, Paul Schimpf, Max Solomon, and Jesse Sullivan were all at this event. And it was not a combative style of, it wasn't a debate. It was a forum. So they answered questions. They all had the opportunity to answer there were 7 questions and they all took a turn answering it. And then they had a question that was specifically targeted towards them, and they were very pointed questions. So things that people have accused any of these different candidates about, that's kind of what we asked them about. So you should watch it if you have a vested interest there. Did you pay attention to the Madison Cawthorn story?
I saw that he did not. Well, he basically got primaried. I didn't.
He lost his primary.
Yep. So I know that there's been some controversy surrounding him, and just
Lots of controversy.
wow.
Do you know the details of it?
Not all of it. I just know here.
I was
bits and
reading
pieces.
I was reading up on some of the things that have come up, and I didn't know this all about him. Multiple traffic violations of him driving very, very fast. I think once on a suspended license, and then some other images that had surfaced that were kind of scandalous. And his response were that they were all before he ran for Congress. This is what I want to say, folks. Tell your kids to tell their kids. I don't know how cool this is coming from grandma and grandpa, but I mean, hey, you do what you got to do. If you're going to do things and photograph it and document your entire life, starting at a very young age, this stuff comes back. And I think that over the course of time, it's going to have I don't know how it's going to change, but for somebody who's my age, in my late 30s, I didn't have a phone that took pictures that I actually used to take pictures until I was in the middle of college, I think. So I'm probably at the tail end of age where you got to grow up without documenting everything all the time. And it still is, going back to what I was saying about Nina Jankowicz and her stupid videos of all of her singing parody songs about how you hide a little lie. Like, oh my gosh. I am not cultured in a way that thinks that everybody wants to see what I do. I'm saying this as a radio show host, so I understand the irony. This is my job, though. It's different to have gone through the life that I've gone through and I'll sit down and explain to you in great detail if you're interested in how I've paid my dues over the course of time, because I certainly have, to get here to this point. But even now, I'm hesitant to do overt things that are just like, look at me, look at me. Kids who have computers and phones and cameras and tablets and all of this stuff at their fingertips are very misguided in that their belief is that whatever they put out on the internet, people want to see. Generally speaking, the people who want to see what you're putting out there do not have your best interest at heart. And there's a whole array of reasons why whatever you put out on the internet is not going to be used for your personal benefit. But it's forever. Once it hits the internet, you can take it down. It's not gone. It's still out there somewhere. Any number of screenshots or whatever might have manifested out of it. You get to the point where kids are raised in a way that they think that their every breath is of interest and value to other people. And I hate to say this, but I need to say this. Maybe to your mama, maybe to your daddy. Your grandparents love you. It's pushing it, going outside of that circle. And I think about this in the way that people are going to have, because I think Madison Cawthorn was mid-20s. So he has been in a much more social media engaged world for a lot more of his youth than people who are my age in my mid-30s and in the late 30s have experienced. But it breeds this, there's so much power in the fingertips of a child when they're holding a phone. It's too much power. I think it's Savannah Guthrie did on the Today Show a feature, and it was, I don't remember what it's called specifically. It's like Not Until 8th or something like that. But the whole point is it is for parents to band together and not provide phones to their kids until 8th grade. So you're 14 and in 8th grade, you turn 14. Wait until 8th is the name of the movement. You can go to waituntil8th.org. And I think that the idea here is that it really sucks if your kid is the only kid in 5th grade who doesn't have a phone. But I'm sorry, child of mine. That just sucks. What can we do together that would fill your time here? Kids don't want phones. They want computers. They want access to, to them, a phone doesn't make phone calls. That's not what a phone is to them. A phone is something that they can use to document themselves and share things about themselves that make them feel good about themselves. So you take social media and you apply it to children, and it's a whole bunch of people in a crowded space yelling at the top of their lungs, "Look at me." None of them are interested in what other people are doing. All it is one huge case of FOMO. And if you don't know what that means fear of missing out. So if somebody in middle school or in high school post a picture of the best day of their life, that makes other kids feel bad about themselves because they didn't have the best day of their life in that moment. So then they use that as an opportunity. I gotta take a picture of me, and fabricate something or document something. Maybe it's not a picture of themselves to make it look like they're having the best day of their lives too. It's a big lie. It's a big mirage of insecurity. And when you get a little older, maybe the end of high school or specifically college, if you're documenting the things you did in college, like I see some of these pictures that have come out of what Madison Cawthorn, they're pictures of him and he's at parties, but college kids have been going to parties for all of time. They just haven't been snapping photographs left and right and having a place where you can click one button and share it with the entire world. You used to have to take those pictures to Walmart and wait 48 hours, 1 hour if you were lucky, and then you'd get your 24 photos developed and six of them would be good. And then what do you do with them? You put them in a pile and then maybe you look at them later. If you're like super organized, you put them in a photo album. The people who are parenting kids today, I'm one of them, don't know what it's like to grow up with the pressures of social media. We know what it's like to grow up with bullies. We know what it's like to grow up and think back on a time that maybe we were the bully. We know what it's like to grow up with feelings of insecurity or insufficiency or jealousy or envy or failure. We all experience that, but in a world where everything on the internet is forever and you have something in 10, 20 years that you want to do, that picture's going to come up and you're going to have to speak on it. And I don't think the kids understand the gravity of that situation. And generally speaking, the mistakes that are made are so far down the path before they're even identified as mistakes by the parents that hopefully are supervising those situations. I saw that he had lost his primary. I read a little bit about what some of the scandals were, and it makes me sad. I don't know if he's not my representative, so I don't get to vote for him. I don't know if he should have won again. I don't know if it was the best thing ever that he lost. I know that I want the seat. As far as I'm concerned, it matters to me that the seat stays red. And if he's going to bring controversy in, then maybe another option is better. However, don't build the barriers that are going to keep you from succeeding and then be surprised when you arrive at them and go, oh, what's this? And unfortunately, in his case, especially since he's so young, the things that ended up taking him out of the position to succeed again and to remain in Congress are largely of his own making. And I think it's a bummer. I feel bad for him in that regard, but at the same time, what are you going to do? One of the Trump endorsements that did not make the cut, Madison Cawthorn, and the Trump endorsement of him in the final hour before this was, hey, I know he's made some mistakes. Let's give him a second chance. All right. Anyway, I want to take a quick break. When we come back, Ryan Wiggins is going to come in for a delay. This is like Wiggins America Mountain Time. Is that right? Is it 12? It's 12:40.
1 hour.
It's 12:45 in the mountains, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll head for the mountains of Wiggins. You think Ryan Wiggins would like his face on a mountainside?
Oh, absolutely. with long flowing hair.
We'll be back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
If this will last
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
and I will wait to find.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Either one of you wearing cargo shorts? They're back.
My son will be so happy.
You can stay the same size. Hold on to your pants because they're going to eventually come back and be in style again.
How about jorts?
No, that's never okay.
Okay,
All
take it back.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Mark Cox here. Join me as we head to enchanting Germany to see fairy tale castles like Neuschwanstein and picturesque Bavarian villages, medieval Munich, the world-famous Hofbrauhaus, even Mozart's Salzburg in Austria, too. Join me this fall, $49.49. That includes your airfare. Call 888-733-9494 or go online today to conservativetours.com. That's conservativetours.com.
You may be thinking, I have a portfolio, I have a financial advisor, but are you confident that your money is going to last in retirement? That's a sign you may need to adjust your investment approach. At Heisey Advisory Group, we know that a portfolio is not a plan. Retirement is full of complicated choices like when to claim Social Security, how to keep taxes low, and how to leave your assets to loved ones with the least amount of taxes and hassle, and probably most important, how to make your money last. Do you know if your current retirement plan solves all of these problems? If the answer is no, give Heisey Advisory Group a call today at 314-328-6000. Let us help you quiet those nagging questions once and for all. That's 314-328-6000.
Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call Attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Take action to demand #more for mental health by creating your own graphic to share out on social media. Customize your message, choose the colors, and add your handle for a personalized touch. Head on over to the generator to make it happen. moreformentalhealth.org/share.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studios. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 53 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
If it's bumper to bumper or smooth sailing, Sue Thomas has you covered with dependable traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
There are those in government who believe not that the Creator endowed us with inalienable rights, as the founders of our nation acknowledged in the Declaration of Independence, but that government created those rights, and that government should redefine those rights, including our rights to freedom of speech, religion, property, assembly, and to keep and bear arms. Even fundamental scientific truths, such as the existence of two sexes, male and female, are subject to challenge these days. You know,
That's the weirdest clip we've ever aired on this show.
It was, that was of Cynthia Loomis. She is one of the Republican senators from Wyoming. She was speaking at a commencement ceremony at the University of Wyoming. The clip was weird though. It was like somebody sped it up, and then I had to go back and slow it down. So
I don't think you did. She still sounded like she
fast.
was from Lollipop Land.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because somebody was like, she speaks too slow, and they sped it up. But anyway, that was her speaking at the commencement ceremony. And amazingly, she says, quote, "The existence of two sexes, male and female, are subject to challenge these days." Then, as if pointing out the fact that she said that was true, the audience in attendance there at the commencement ceremony at the University of Wyoming started booing her at that line. It is incredible that apparently is controversial now to say that there are two sexes, but it is.
It's not new information.
It's pretty incredible that that in Wyoming you'd go to a university and say that and not know that you might be in hostile territory too. So she did. And then I think that the reason that this is a story is that she has then come back out. And this is where I wanted to kind of get you guys' opinion. She's come back out and apologized for saying that she didn't intend to hurt anybody's feelings. I can't imagine why you would come out and apologize after saying that at this point. I mean, it seems like we are in a place now in America where if you're going to say something that's controversial, you probably know this is going to be controversial. Then why come out and apologize for it? But then secondly, is there any benefit to even doing that politically anymore? Why not just stand your ground?
I think you have to stand your ground, because my first reaction to that was soft.
Mm-hmm.
You're soft. And you're never going to get any quarter from those that were booing you. They're going to hate you no matter what. So what you do by apologizing is you alienate those that would stand up and support you. And now that you've alienated them, there's nobody left for her.
Yeah, exactly. This is the kind of thing that goes viral if you do stand up for it. If you say, no, I did that on purpose. I knew I was going into a university to say something controversial. And
this article says on Monday, she says Loomis apologized, saying it was not her intention to, quote, make anyone feel unwelcomed or disrespected, but she stood by the substance of her remarks. I don't think that's bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know that in particular is bad. It's just, why not do what you know is working? Why not do DeSantis, which is to say, I knew I was walking into a place like that. I knew exactly what I was doing. I stand by my comments, and you got to deal with it.
Well, DeSantis is the governor who's in charge of a bill that's like super controversial because the Democrats massively success in marketing it in a completely false and fabricated type of a way. But being a speaker, I mean, I understand that you're criticizing her for it. I actually commend her for it because she went into the lion's den. She said what she said. And at the end, she said, I'm sorry that I didn't mean to hurt anyone's feelings, but that's what I said. And I said it. I actually think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the clip, it was like she didn't expect the booze, though. Like you're walking into a university. Now, you're in Wyoming, so I get that maybe it's a little bit different territory there, but you're still going to a university. You got to figure, if you're going to say something controversial, maybe somebody's going to boo. You're on video. You're going to make a viral clip. So she should have been prepared to say something to those boos to say, I knew you were going to boo, and I disagree with you. To me, that's where you got to draw those lines now.
I don't think so. I think that her being willing to go in to talk at this university and say something that is controversial in that setting is courageous. And if she were to do that, she'd be combative.
Yeah, I will commend the university for even having her speak. But I mean, you're one of 3 representatives of the U.S. government that is in Wyoming. You got 2 senators and 1 representative. So you don't have a lot of choices. But the university had to have known, they're inviting Republicans in. So I'm okay with her standing up and saying, the apology is what I just don't like. I don't think that looks like strength.
But she's not
in the
apologizing. But it's, the article that you shared is not, it says in here, she did not apologize for what she said.
Yeah. She said, I didn't mean to make anyone feel unwelcomed or disrespected. Well, from listening to the comment.
But then the rest of that actual sentence is, but she stood by the substance of her remarks, which is an important part of that sentence.
Can you even utter that sentence and not make somebody feel uncomfortable?
I think that the point of what she's saying here, though, is that I know what I said. I stand by what I said. And I'm not saying this to be hurtful. I mean, honestly, that's my mantra. Like this is the way I approach this situation. If I'm going to be talking about something that's controversial, I'm not putting this out there in a way that is intended to hurt people's feelings because they disagree with me. You can boo at me. You can disagree with me. And if you disagree with me and you're not like hateful or like purposely disrespectful in a human way, I'll converse with you and concede that we just agree to disagree. But it's never my intention to set out to try to hurt somebody's feelings. And that's exactly what she said.
Right. But I mean, the offense on that portion, if somebody's hurt by that, that's because they feel hurt, not because she is set out to do it. I mean, why does she even have to apologize for that?
She doesn't have to. No apologies have to be done.
What does it say? Why is it commendable to like, why does she even have to reinforce that? I mean, why is the default setting that she was actually going out there trying to hurt people's feelings? Why can't we just assume that she wasn't?
It says the university's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council responded to the senator's comments in a statement saying that, quote, intersex members of our community who have diverse chromosomal makeup should be seen and recognized, quote unquote. And then another quote, we deeply regret the harmful impact these words at our graduation ceremony may have had on those graduating, as well as their families and friends. That stuff, to me, is saying, you know, you are hurtful, you are awful. And I think she's responding probably to that, saying, well, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but I'm going to stick by what I said.
Which is awesome. Like, she said it. She didn't pull it back. And she stated that her intention of stating what she believes to be true, what I believe to be true, is not said in a way that is intended to hurt anybody. I understand what you're saying, Brad, like in a perfect world, that why should she have to apologize because the automatic assumption is that she was trying to be hateful? That's the reality. If the perfect world doesn't have that assumption, that doesn't have much to do with what reality is.
Right. But I think we need to change our mindset on that. We need to stop assuming that we are responsible for how other people take our comments. Like, if you're being careful about what you say, that's all you can do. And at that point, it's on the other person to understand how you're saying something.
I don't think it's ever a bad idea to apologize for hurting someone's feelings.
Her quote going on says, this is from Senator Loomis, says, quote, I share the fundamental belief that women and men are equal, but also acknowledge that there are biological differences and circumstances in which these differences need to be recognized. I think the reason I brought this up is just, it's so surprising to me that this is where we are, that you have to clarify so much.
You don't.
And
you don't have to clarify.
Well, when the university comes back out and is like, well, you said some things we disagree with, it's like, what is so disagreeable about that? I just can't believe that we're there.
Is the purpose of the story because of where we are as a society? Because I felt like you were saying that she shouldn't have apologized.
It's twofold. Yeah, I mean, it's first, I can't believe she even had to address this.
She doesn't have to address it.
And then
she doesn't have to address it. She doesn't have to apologize. She made a decision, and I think it was the right one. Don't you think it's, I mean, like in a Christian, you're shaking your head no? Why?
No, I don't agree with that at all. Because it was very obvious that she wasn't trying to hurt somebody's feelings, and you shouldn't have to apologize for something that you weren't intending to do.
You don't have to apologize.
Well, that's what you said.
No, it's a kind thing to do.
If it's the right thing to do, then it's something that you should do. Therefore, you have to do it.
Well, it's all based on a morality that we don't, as a society, agree upon. If Cheryl Loomis said what she said, she went into a place and said something that she believes, knowing that the people who heard it weren't all going to agree with her, and she said it and she stood by it, and the university came out and said, what you said was really, really hurtful. And she said, I'm sorry that it hurt these people. That wasn't my intention, but I stand by my comments. That's kind of mind-blowing to me that you both think that was wrong.
I think that I'm just surprised that she didn't know that would be what would come about from her.
Does it say in this article that she was surprised by that?
I don't know. I mean, this seems like she's backpedaling a little bit, like, oh, well, I didn't mean to,
No, she literally
bring
said it.
harm.
Literally says she stood by the substance of her remarks.
She did. Yeah, she kind of went down the middle. She stood by what she says.
That's not down the middle, Ryan. She made a comment that there are two sexes in a university. Was it a commencement speech? Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a graduation speech, she made a comment, a controversial comment, and she never backed down from it. And people said, "You hurt people's feelings," and she said, "I'm sorry, I hurt their feelings."
Yeah.
But she doesn't pull back on her
She
statement.
didn't pull back from the statement.
My opinion is that we need a whole heck of a lot more of this, which is a kind way of going in and speaking what you believe to be true, even if it's unpopular, in front of people that's unpopular, and being gracious and graceful enough in the aftermath of that when the pushback comes to say, I stand by what I said, but it wasn't my intention to hurt you. Because that's the perfect world, Brad, that you were kind of referring to. Like, why should she have to do that? She doesn't have to do that. But there's no way to bridge that gap if we don't start showing people that we aren't actually saying these things in a hurtful, hateful way. And her grace in handling the situation, I think, is positive.
We've never had to say these things before. Why are we apologizing for this? That's not a controversial statement. That's not a crazy statement. That's not a hurtful statement.
What?
That there are two sexes.
That could be a very hurtful statement to somebody.
Somebody can take it as hurtful.
Sure.
But you can't assume the other's intent. So to me, that's on the person whose feelings were hurt, not on the person who said it. And it's unfair to the person who said it, who maybe have been saying it in complete good faith, that this person's took so much offense for it. Shame on that person.
Oof.
I think I hear what
it's
you're
a matter
you're
of
saying
communication.
as far as
Amy on YouTube says have the grace to apologize for hurting you, but have the courage to stand by your words. I'm right there with you, Amy. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, just that, like, what you're saying is true. Like, that is actually the way I think all of us would live our lives and do live our lives when we're talking about controversial things. It's when you're a senator and you're doing something that's that public, to be ready for the media part of it. I don't think she looked like she was ready for the media part. She looked like she was, because when you step into an environment like that and you make those statements, you got to be ready for, okay, now there's stories. Now you got to, it seemed like she wasn't
Give
ready.
us another minute, Brad.
It seemed like she wasn't ready for where this would go.
How?
That she sort of like said, well, I didn't really mean to hurt anybody. Well, we all kind of know that you didn't mean to hurt anybody. You went into that.
But just be like, there's nothing wrong with saying it. She's not conceding anything by saying, I'm sorry if that was hurtful to you. I mean, people, men and women, people in marriages do this all the time. You have conversations, you discuss things are interpreted one way. You come home, you had a bad day at work, your husband says something to you, and you take it personally, and he didn't mean anything by it. And you have a conversation, and it's completely not outside of the realm of possibility. He goes, when I said that, I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just trying to say, I thought maybe we should go out to eat tonight instead of eating in. And then you go, oh, okay. And then you move on. But that's a gracious, loving thing for the husband to do when he's not wrong. We need to do more of that as humans, not less of it. And for her to go into a graduation commencement speech and say that is courageous. We obviously disagree on it. If you have a thought on this, please weigh in on the Annie Frey YouTube channel and let us know what you think. We're getting some comments from folks who are watching, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. We'll talk about that YouTube poll when we come back. So if you're there, vote in it while you're there, and we'll discuss a little bit about that in just a minute. Don't go away.
On Saturday, May 28th, the Cardinals host the Milwaukee Brewers. And that day, 25,000 fans, ages 16 and older, will take home their very own stainless steel tumbler featuring Yadier Molina, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. This 30-ounce Yadi tumbler comes in two styles, and you will not know which one you will receive until you enter the gates at Busch Stadium. That's Saturday, May 28th, the Cardinals, the Brewers, and the Yadi tumbler. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com.
The Cardinals' most recent Hall of Famer, Ted Simmons, was honored at Busch Stadium in 2021 with a bronze statue at the corner of Clark and 8th Street. Now, on Sunday, May 29th, 25,000 fans, ages 16 and older, will take home a replica of history, thanks to Edward Jones. Add to your statue collection with this exclusive giveaway. That's Sunday, May 29th, the Ted Simmons Statue Promotional Giveaway. Great seats remain. Get your tickets at Cardinals.com.
So Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group, we just got a little conversation with them at about 12:45. So if you missed it, you can go back and listen to that on the Annie Frey Show podcast. But we are going to be at the Frontenac Hilton Tuesday, May 24th, and it's at 6:30 p.m. I'm going to be there at 6 and looking forward to meeting you after you sign up. Reserve your spot for this event. It's a Protecting Your Retirement educational event. If you are 59 and a half or older, did you know you can now roll over your 401k or company plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? And if you've been paying attention to the stock market today, you might be interested now more than ever in doing so. You can reach out to Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494 to reserve your spot. And yes, you do have to have that spot reserved. One more time, the phone number is 314-993-9494. You can also go online to retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Deep red for the markets. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. An hour to the close on Wall Street. The Dow's down more than 1,100 points amid more inflation-driven concern about the economy.
This is inflation completely unmanageable, both for the company, big ones like Walmart and Target, the news we got yesterday and today, but also for the consumer.
Fox Business's Lauren Simonetti. The price of gas now tops $4 a gallon in all 50 states in the AAA average. The Biden administration taps the brakes on a disinformation governance board, putting the idea on hold and under review as the woman picked to lead the panel resigns.
This was a board that was supposed to be built for combating misinformation, but critics had accused Nina Jankowicz of extreme bias for some of her past political tweets. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas was also facing repeated questions about what the board was actually going to be doing and if the administration was truly taking steps to police free speech.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. A Homeland Security spokesperson says false attacks have become a distraction. Former Secretary Michael Chernoff will help lead the review of the board. New York's Attorney General just announcing a probe of social media companies related to the mass shooting at a Buffalo supermarket, drilling down on platforms used by the shooter to plan, promote, and stream the attack. The U.S. Embassy in Ukraine's capital reopens, resuming operations nearly 3 months after pulling diplomats out when Russia invaded, a war that may end up expanding NATO, both Finland and Sweden formally applying for membership in what National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan calls a watershed moment.
Two nations with a long tradition of neutrality will be joining the world's most powerful defensive alliance, and they will bring with them strong capabilities and a proven track record as security partners.
Though approval is still needed from all 30 of NATO's existing members, including Turkey, which continues to express security concerns. America is listening to Fox News.
I tend to second guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The unsettled weather is gone. Partly sunny skies going through our Wednesday afternoon. Kind of warm, though. 85 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, 65. Thursday, Partly sunny, hot and humid. Nothing more than a pop-up afternoon storm that will be really tough to find. 89 degrees, 89 again on Friday, and back to a wet weather pattern Friday night and into Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hey, you're not the only one who's up early. Before the Mark Cox Morning Show, 97.1 has you covered with the news of the day from Gordon Deal.
This is Gordon Deal, host of This Morning, America's First News, right here on 97.1 from 4 to 5 a.m.
Listen to Gordon Deal from 4 to 5. Then the Mark Cox Morning Show, every morning from 5 to 9.
Here to get you set for what's happening right here, right now.
Right here, right now. 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet Store. Have you been suffering with foot pain, knee pain, low back pain, or plantar fasciitis? You may be thinking there's no way that something as simple as the Good Feet Store can help you.
My feet would just ache, my back, my ankles. I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
No shots, no surgery, no medication.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Dearborn.
Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet arch supports fit in all your own shoes. Come to the Good Feet store for a free test walk today. You can try it before you buy it.
Joe Biden's inflation is causing the cost of gas and groceries to skyrocket. Nancy Pelosi and Democrats in Congress have a radical agenda to defund our police, making our families less safe. How do these career politicians keep getting away with this? I'm Regan Deering. I'm a mom and small business owner, and I'm a fighter, not a career politician. I just can't stand on the sidelines while the Democrats' failed policies continue to devastate Central Illinois. In Congress, I'll stop Biden's inflation, which will allow families to keep more of what they earn. I'll fight to secure the border and fix our broken immigration system, and fully fund our police, working hand in hand with law enforcement to keep our families safe and secure. Join me at ReganForCongress.com, and together we will clean up the mess in Washington. I'm Regan Deering, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message. Paid for by Regan for Congress.
Wealth-changing question. Is your investment portfolio really customized? Some advisors say they customize portfolios, but all they really do is ask you a few questions, then put all your money in a model portfolio. At Creative Planning, each of our private wealth management clients' portfolios is unique. Your investment mix will be based on your custom financial plan. If that's not how your money's managed, you aren't getting the customization you deserve. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Welcome to Total Wine and More. I'm on cooler duty this weekend. Fill it up with seltzers and canned cocktails. Oh, wow, great prices. Find what you love what you find. At Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
With Odyssey music stations, there's a different station for every taste, and they're all free. Listen to 97.1 live on your phone, or browse the selection of music stations and make a soundtrack to your workday. It's all at Odyssey.com. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by The Loading Dock. River views, outdoor dining, live music, and overnight accommodations. The Loading Dock on the river in Grafton, Illinois.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This
is The Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's Wednesday. We are glad you're spending some of your afternoon with us here at 97.1 FM Talk. I want to point you to the YouTube live chat poll. And I guess, Hannah, if you want to come in here, you can come in here and read some of these comments. I think she mentioned that there were quite a few. But the poll is, should my 6-year-old's kindergarten graduation make me sad? So I will be real with you here for just a second here. My 6-year-old daughter is graduating kindergarten tonight. And a lot of people I saw saying that, like, there's happy tears and there's sad tears, and happy tears are okay. So maybe I've misplaced the emotion that I have for this. And I get this way every year at the end of the school year. It is so difficult for me to watch my kids leave their 1 grade and know that the next year they're going to be in 1st grade instead of kindergarten or whatever it might be. And it's almost, to me, it's almost much more about not the next grade they're going in, but the fact that they're closer to high school, or they're closer to junior high, or they're not in preschool anymore, or whatever it is. And so I am happy for my daughter, and she is over the moon about graduating kindergarten. She's super excited about it. She's super happy about it, and I'm happy for her. But there's just this weird level of sadness that ends up setting in when these types of life changes occur. And it's hard. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch kids grow up. And I'm curious about how this might have affected you. And I think I want to talk about it a little bit here in this segment. And then I think what I'm going to do in the next segment is potentially take some calls. If you folks want to offer some thoughts or some experiences that you've had on this issue, because I have a feeling, like I said earlier, I'm using this opportunity and my connection to you as a listener and as a partner in our afternoons together to kind of help me push through this a little bit. So Hannah, you don't have to give me the results of the poll right now. We'll wait until the end of the show. But the poll being, should my 6-year-old's kindergarten graduation make me sad? Why don't you go ahead and tell us what people have said so far online?
Okay. Betsy from YouTube says, maybe sad is the wrong word. Emotional for sure.
Yeah.
I agree with that one. Holly shared of an experience of her own. She says, last year I cried taking my kid to his last day of 3rd grade. I said I was sad, happy. He said, oh, you're sappy. Yes.
That's a smart little kid. Those last days of school are weird on my mama heart. It's very bizarre to take in the last. I'm going to be honest. I don't do lasts well with anything. So when it comes to my kids, it's even more so.
Michael from Facebook said, of course, kids don't say kids forever, but they'll be adults forever. It's always bittersweet.
Thank you, Michael. You made me feel a little bit better.
Is it always, because do you always feel guilt that you're not doing enough? And is this a mom thing, is it a dad thing, or is it both? Because there are a lot of times that I feel like I'm not engaging with my kids enough. Therefore, when a milestone like this comes along, you go, oh man, I feel kind of guilty that I haven't soaked up like all the time with my kids that I should. But there are times that you come home, you're just like, I'm just tired. I don't want to deal with, I don't want to talk. I don't want to play. I just want to sit. So there's like a guilt that comes along with these milestones for me.
That's not what I try to give my kids all my time when I'm not doing work things. Had a work event last night, so I didn't get to be with them then. But I mean, pretty much my time outside of work is with my kids, and we have them in a lot of activities, and I've prioritized that because it does seem so fleeting. But I'm sure that's a sentiment felt by a lot of other people. Go ahead.
Jay from YouTube sympathizes with you. He says, my son Logan graduates kindergarten next week. My last child in kindergarten. I'm very sad.
Thank you, Jay. Is his picture, is that Macaulay Culkin? It's Macaulay Culkin. That's Home Alone Macaulay Culkin. That's not what he looks like anymore. He's all grown up too.
From YouTube asked a question. He asked, how many graduations are there now? He only had high school and college.
Did you graduate from kindergarten?
Kindergarten, I did end up graduate. I was
You
thinking
never
about
passed kindergarten?
I
You
did
never
graduate
graduated.
from kindergarten. I graduated from 8th grade,
Yeah.
high school and college.
Same. Ryan, did you have a
I
kindergarten
don't
graduation?
think we ever had a graduation until 12th grade.
Did you, Hannah?
I had 5th grade, 8th grade, high school, and college on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Oh.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sad that Hannah's getting all grown up too.
Yeah.
Maybe
Come
that's
on,
what this is really
guys.
about.
Shed some tears.
Yeah, I kindergarten, 8th grade, high school, college.
I
So,
never had kindergarten or preschool, which I thought I would have had one of those, but
kindergarten graduation is a ceremony at school, and then it's over. So,
do they get cap and gowns?
mhm.
Oh,
That's
I
pretty
know.
cute.
so sweet. That would make me cry.
I will be sharing photos tonight on the Facebook page of my little girl. So,
Rachel from Facebook says any milestone has the potential to be bittersweet. I agree with that one.
that's an interesting take too, because it ends up being more of, it can totally end up being like, this makes you sad in the context of whatever else you're dealing with in your life at that moment in time. So maybe something is feeling a little extra sad because maybe you lost a loved one, or you're thinking about something else in the context of this particular moment. So
This one might scare you. It says, Margie from YouTube says, my baby graduates high school tomorrow. Don't blink, Annie.
yeah, I could literally cry right now. I won't. I'll try not to.
Are these things like, has this always been the case? Have parents always felt like this, or are we more hyper focused on it as a society now?
That's why I asked the poll question.
That's
That's why we're answering the question.
Well, I didn't know. Yeah. Okay.
I would
feel like parents would always have felt this way.
Yeah, I feel like that emotion is real because it comes from a spot, you don't know, you can't get back what you don't have anymore, right? So the time
It's
ticks
in
on,
past.
it goes on, and you can't go back to your kid being in kindergarten anymore. But I think where we're different now is we're more open about talking about it, whereas the other,
kinda
our
bury
parents
it.
just kind of was like, oh yeah, push that down, and
I don't know. Like, that's probably definitely true, because every generation past Gen X seems to be really concerned about making everyone aware of how they feel all of the time. But I also think that it's not, you can't compare the two, the way our parents would have been and the way we are now, because there were no means to share things like
This
that.
is true.
And now there's a means to share everything. And you can, when you're scrolling mindlessly through Facebook and you're seeing all these, you see prom pictures and you see graduation pictures, and you're like, holy crap, that kid's a senior in high school and is graduating. And you stop for a second, and when in the world did that happen? My son will be a 7th grader next year. So junior high, not middle school, junior high. And that is mind blowing. And I'll post pictures of him every once in a while, because in the last probably 8 months or so, he's really shed that little boy look about himself, and he's turning into a young man. And it's jaw dropping, especially if you haven't seen somebody like that recently. So on Facebook, you see all that stuff. And then I think it does probably urge you to be a little more sentimental. So I wonder if it's just, maybe the potential was there for our parents to care when we graduated. No offense, mom and dad. But I feel more so like we just have so many more means to communicate with each other right now, and to be connected with one another in ways that are probably even in some ironically diminishing actual human connections that we have with one another.
Did junior highs start in 7th grade for you?
Well, middle schools are kind of a new thing, I think, from our age. There was junior high and high school, and it was 7th and 8th grade was junior high.
Oh,
There were no middle schools when we were in middle school.
Is Charlie's like that?
Charlie goes to a Lutheran school, and it's K through 8. So,
Oh, okay. I started middle school 6th, 7th, 8th.
Well, I went to a Catholic school, so it was K through 8,
Mhm.
and I ended up moving in 7th grade. So I didn't have a 5th grade graduation because we just did.
I've never heard of that, but I'm not opposed to it.
I think my 5th grade graduation was more hyped up than my high school graduation was.
Your 5th grade one?
Yeah,
That's because the moms were in
teachers-
charge of
yes,
the 5th grade one.
That's exactly what it was. We got food catered. It was awesome.
I am not that mom. I can't. I am so grateful that those moms exist and are in my kids' classrooms. And I am like, who should I Venmo? Because I was filling out invitations for my 6-year-old's birthday party that we're going to have on Saturday. And I was writing them out. I'm like, Jared, I hate doing this. Because the first invitation, I wanted to look nice. I don't even know if the last ones I did you can read. It's gonna be a random 6-year-old birthday party a few houses down the street, because I quit writing the address clearly.
You should have called me. I like doing that stuff.
I should have brought him, and you would have done. That'd be like, I am so opposed to treating people who you work with in this business that way. But that is exactly the type of thing that radio would do to like
A
interns
newbie, yep.
or the newbie. Yeah, it's not give me coffee here. Fill out my child's birthday invitations. Oh my gosh, I could never do that to you.
Man, you want a great cheat for birthdays that I've discovered this year? I wish I would have done this 8 years ago, and I would have had 8 years of great cheats. But every time you do a birthday, you always have to provide treats and stuff, right? You got to do all this stuff. You got to get a cake.
You don't have to.
Right.
But society is big on the pressure.
Exactly. So I've discovered in the last year, oh my gosh, I don't have to go get a cake. I don't even have to get cupcakes. I can literally that morning go to a place and get 24 donuts for all the kids. It's cheap. Everybody loves them just the same, and it's done. No prep ahead of time. It is the best thing I've discovered for parties.
I went to
Donuts.
Yes.
I went to a public
Mind-blowing
school.
discovery.
Yeah, I know.
And an elementary school for people's birthdays, everybody would bring in something like that. But I don't think they're allowed to do that anymore. But now that I think about it, I don't know. There was a lot of pressure to do that. And for the kids who like had summer birthdays and they couldn't bring in stuff, I feel bad for
Pinterest.
them. Or some people, their
Pinterest.
parents were working. They didn't have time to drop off birthday treats. So now I think about it,
They
I
had
feel
like
bad.
Ferris wheels on top of them.
Yeah.
The Pinterest movement, I kind of feel like Pinterest is going the wayside. I don't know, maybe it's wildly successful and I just am so far removed from it that I don't know for sure. But there's so many things that can be done and there are things that have to be done. And the thing that has to be done is that your kiddo needs to feel celebrated on their birthday and loved. And there are lots of ways to do that. But if you're breaking your back and you're making yourself crazy doing it, or on top of that, spending money you don't have, you're not doing it right. And it's not teaching your kids good lessons. But, you know, I have one of the friends that I have that is a mom of one of the girls in Evelyn's class makes the best treats. They're amazing. And she cupcakes and she makes macarons and she makes like elaborate cakes and everything. And they are so delicious and they are so beautiful. And I am very glad that she does that because those parties are catered well. The school auction has the best desserts ever. And I love looking at them and eating them and not making them.
I'm not above going to
Okay.
that party. If I get an invite from your
of course
kid's friend's mom, I would consider going.
I'll ask Kaylin.
Ryan,
Thank you.
That's great.
Any more comments before we take a break?
Yeah. Our friend Balls commented and said, I'm sure Evelyn is all fired up. This is just as important as high school graduation to her. Big time is where you are at. And then he also said, perfectly normal to be sad. It is a reminder of how fast time goes.
I think that's it. I think that's the thing for me is that time is just a thief. And I feel like the older I get, the faster it goes. And I know I've been hearing generations before me say that forever. It's just like, don't blink. That whole philosophy of just you blink and it's over. And everyone always says, how is this possible? And I'm just waiting to blink and be saying, how is this possible? And she's in kindergarten. I still have some time. With my big kids, they're getting a little closer each and every day. Let's take a quick break. A little follow up on that conversation we had because we're getting some feedback from people who agree with Brad, agree with Ryan, agree with me. Maybe we'll get Hannah's thoughts on this too on the other side of the break. You okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show. Decision 2022 is happening. Are you ready to decide? The primary candidates are here because they want to talk to you. Decision 2022, right here, right now, on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hensher Johnson Orthodontics, online at hensherjohnsonortho.com. The orthodontic office you've been looking for. You've been considering taking care of the unstraight teeth that you have in your mouth or potentially some other dental issues that you might be facing that can be helped by proper orthodontic care. You need Dr. Jody. The entire Hensher Johnson orthodontic team is absolutely top notch at what they do, and they are consistently going to go above and beyond to make sure that your customer service experience is above the rest. And they have the best clinical care for each and every patient each and every time. If you have orthodontic work in your future and don't think that you've ever grown out of this, there are way discreet ways that you can straighten your teeth out, that you can have that smile that you've always looked for, or for your kids or your grandkids, reach out to Hensher Johnson Orthodontics at 618-400-0900. 618-400-0900. Like I said, Hensher Johnson Orthodontics in Columbia and Waterloo, online at HensherJohnsonOrtho.com.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Mike Shinoda.
Mental health isn't just like, it's not a state of being. It's almost like, think about it like fitness, or think about it like something where you've got a scale of like, how are you doing right now? And so there's an awareness. Mental health is all about being aware of, how am I doing today? Like if you say on a scale of 1 to 10, how healthy are you? And that's your state of mind.
More at imlistening.org. Talk saves lives.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event, Tuesday, May 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. There's limited seating, so go online at retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and concerned how all the market volatility is hurting your retirement accounts? Did you know there are financial tools that allow you to participate in the market growth and still protect you from any losses? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can now roll over your 401k tax-free to protect your nest egg from market losses and still generate more income than most investment options? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, Tuesday, May 24th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
School's out for summer, but if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. QuickBooks manual processes, integration difficulties, and glitchy delays will leave you scrambling for the numbers you need. Failing to graduate to NetSuite will leave you stuck in summer school while your friends party. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 cloud financial system, no matter how big your business grows. With visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. That's why NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, used by over 29,000 growing businesses. Automate your process with NetSuite and close your books in no time. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since graduating from QuickBooks to NetSuite. Right now, NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program, so graduating has never been easier. Head to netsuite.com/select right now. netsuite.com/select. netsuite.com/select.
Mark Cox here. Join me as we head to enchanting Germany to see fairy tale castles like Neuschwanstein and picturesque Bavarian villages, medieval Munich, the world-famous Hofbrauhaus, even Mozart's Salzburg in Austria too. Join me this fall, $49.49. That includes your airfare. Call 888-733-9494 or go online today to conservativetours.com. That's conservativetours.com.
Stewart's American Mortgage, my friend Stewie, helping people all across the region make sure that they have the best mortgage situation working for them. If you're looking for a refinance or a home purchase, you need to check out Stewie. Now, I want to talk to you about his Compete and Beat Your Locked-In Rate promotion here. You need to make sure you're locking in the lowest interest rate available, so this is what you're going to do. Reach out to Stewie by calling or texting 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. It's never been important than right now. Get a second review. You've got to make sure that if you're going through this process, you are in fact getting the lowest rate. As rates have gone up, you want to make sure you're not paying anything higher than what you need to be. The value of the dollar is dropping, and a cash out opportunity exists for you with equity in your home to really improve your financial situation. Use the bagel loan. You're going to pay no fees that other lenders out there are going to charge you for when you use the bagel loan with my friend Stewie. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, and MLS number 226715.
It's time for an $89 AC tune-up.
ChevroletClaim.com. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Sun coming up over New York City. School bus driver in a traffic jam.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're glad you're here. Quick reminder to go vote in the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Should my 6-year-old's kindergarten graduation make me sad? Keep your comments coming because I'm going to go back and read them all this evening while I'm crying over ice cream in my bed after graduation. Probably not. Maybe. Maybe. What kind of ice cream is it? Made me less likely to cry.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Look, cookie dough,
Oh, that's the best.
vanilla.
Did you notice that ice cream that you brought in for all of us a few weeks ago, that it apparently it's not selling well because Walmart's all over the place are marking it down?
No.
You can get it cheap now.
I was told by one bread range that it wasn't accessible in most Walmarts.
Oh, really?
The Walmart I went to was a bougie Walmart.
Ooh, no, I've seen it in mine, but it's also now marked down. So I don't think it'll be there for long.
It might be marked. Is that the Collinsville one?
It's both Collinsville ones. Yeah, there's 2
I wouldn't be
Walmarts.
surprised if it's not selling well because it's really expensive.
Yeah,
I
that's
wouldn't be
possible.
surprised
This
if
is true.
at the other Walmarts that are in higher affluent areas aren't marking them down.
No, you're probably right.
We got a comment from Joe on the Facebook page to send a message to the Facebook page. And it was a discussion we were having at the end of the 1:00 hour in the Mountain Time, Wiggins America, because we had Thomas Helbig in here at 12:45. And we were discussing, is it Cheryl Loomis? Is that her name? Senator Loomis?
Cynthia.
Cynthia Loomis, who had a speech, a graduation speech at the university in Wyoming. And in her speech, she made the comment that they're scientifically 2 sexes. There was a big hubbub about that. There was booing at the event. There was a big hubbub about it. The university came out and made a statement about it, saying that it was hurtful to people who were there. And she came back and she said, "I'm sorry, it was never my intention to hurt anybody's feelings on this, but I stand by my comments." Did I say that? Did I explain that correctly?
Yeah.
Do we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Joe's comment. Why should anyone stating a fact about a biological truth ever have to say or feel the need to say, "I'm sorry for hurting your feelings"? If someone's feelings get hurt by pointing out an absolute truth that is not a direct personal derogatory attack on them, then I don't know what that means. All she did was do damage to the illusion that these people have created. Had she said unicorns are not real, would she have felt the need to say, "I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings"? The saying, "I'm sorry, my fact may in fact hurt your feelings," is why we are at the point we are with not being able to state a fact without someone saying, "Boo-hoo, my feelings." And then he added another message that says, "No offense, LOL."
So I would like to take this moment to say that is not my stance.
Well, stand by. My stance is, because I have a feeling that Joe is targeting this towards me because I was the only one in the room who thought that what she did was actually great. He says, why should anyone stating a fact about a biological truth ever have to say or feel the need to say, "I'm sorry for hurting your feelings"? If I haven't made it explicitly clear, I'm going to use this opportunity to do it again because I think this is important. She didn't have to apologize for hurting people's feelings. She's not required to apologize for hurting people's feelings. Once again, to reiterate, she did not back down on her comments whatsoever. She actually stood by her comments that she made and didn't qualify them or pull back on them at all. But when the university came out and made a statement saying that the comments were hurtful to people in attendance, be it the graduates or the families, she said it was never her intention to hurt anyone's feelings. I think that is a gracious thing for her to do. And everybody keeps saying, why should someone have to do this? She doesn't have to do that. That's why forgiveness and grace is amazing. And offering yourself in an instant where you are having a conversation with somebody and you say something that you stand by to be true, knowing that that might hurt somebody's feelings. If you're saying it with the intent to hurt someone's feelings, then you're absolutely in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We agree on that. If you're saying something with zero intent to hurt someone's feelings and a complete unawareness that it's going to hurt someone's feelings, I would question your self-awareness maybe and say you should probably be thinking about your words and how they're going to affect other people. But if you say something controversial that you believe to be true, that is going to be an unpopular opinion, and you know that it is going to upset some people, then you have to choose whether or not to say said thing or to not say said thing. And knowing that she was going into a university situation, and she's a senator, I assume that she knows that this statement was controversial. I am pretty sure that's why she said it. She put it out there. She got blowback for it. She apologized for anybody's hurt feelings and said, I stand by my statements. To me, that's the most gracious way of pushing back that one can do. And if that's her methodology on doing that, I commend her for that. I think it's courageous. So, but I think that Joe is agreeing with you guys. So Brad, you can take it from there.
Yeah. So like my point is like she came to that universe. Like if it's obvious that the person isn't trying to hurt somebody's feelings, when you like, if you go into a situation, you say something, you were not intending to hurt somebody's feelings. You are not guilty of hurting somebody's feelings on purpose, right?
You don't have to be guilty for something to apologize.
Right. But if you apologize, you are admitting a fault or a guilt of your own.
No.
So then what are you apologizing for?
People are unintentionally hurt in ways all the time that is in a real relationship where people care about one another. This is not one of those situations. No. But in a real relationship where somebody cares about something, I mean, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. Maybe my marriage is the only one where this actually happens. But we, based on the context of our day, all the time, with 4 kids and a million places to be and 2 full-time jobs, take things the wrong way all the time. Mm-hmm. And it requires grace on both sides. From if I hurt Jared's feelings because I said something and I didn't intend to do that, for me to be like, well, I never intended to hurt your feelings, and if your feelings are hurt, I'm not apologizing because that's not what I intended to do, is not a loving thing for me to do to my husband.
I agree.
Well, my thing is this: is explaining that you didn't mean to hurt their feelings is not an apology.
I think it's an apology.
No, an apology, to me, an apology requires an admission of guilt.
Not to me.
Because if there's nothing wrong, there's nothing to apologize for. So
but you're talking, an admission of guilt is different than an admission of intent.
No.
You can be guilty of hurting somebody's feelings without intending to hurt someone's feelings.
You can hurt somebody's feelings, but you're not guilty of hurting that person's feelings if you're not intending to hurt that person's feelings. And I know you're confused because your face says that right now. What I'm saying is at some point offense is taken, not given. So you, like, both parties have a responsibility in this misunderstanding, because that's what it is the now I don't think this is a misunderstanding in Cynthia Loomis's case, but in your example,
or in the universities,
right? But in your example of a husband and a wife, there's a misunderstanding. The husband said something, the wife misunderstood what the husband was trying to say. So there's not a guilty party in that. So that doesn't require an apology. It may require explanation, clarification, and all these other things. But when you apologize, what you are saying, a good apology says, I was wrong. Correct? Would you agree with that?
Not necessarily.
So what, like, if you weren't wrong for something, what are you apologizing for?
Again, I think that your emphasis here is on who is wrong and who is right. And what I'm saying is that the behavior that I am commending is her willingness to put herself aside, to stand by her point, to say what she said and to stand by what she said, and to not be so obsessed with having to be 100% right about everything and 100% not wrong about anything, that she is willing to anybody who is actually hurt by her words. And like, I understand that in the context of politics, this takes an entirely different tone. I think it's a fantastic example for a grown person who believes that they are in the right in what they said, to understand that that might have been hurtful to somebody else, and to say, I'm saying what I'm saying because I believe it to be true, not because I'm here to hurt your feelings.
And when you receive,
and I'm sorry if that did hurt your feelings.
When you receive an apology, what is it about the apology that makes it a salve on whatever it was that was offensive or hurtful to you?
Care and concern.
Care and concern.
For somebody other than yourself.
So what I'm saying is that she could clarify those statements. This is not my intent to harm somebody. That's fine.
But she didn't clarify her statements. She did not clarify her statements.
So she came out.
She made her statements and she stood by her statements.
No. I'm talking about, I did not mean to hurt anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You come out. It was not my intent.
She didn't clarify her statement, but she did clarify her intent.
Right. So she clarified that my statements were not intended to harm. They
Mhm.
were just a statement of fact, and this is something that I believe.
Mhm.
I haven't actually seen her response, but what I'm saying is that when you say I am sorry, you're saying I was wrong to do that.
I don't agree with that. So we have a fundamental disagreement, which is fine.
Right.
I'm
And-
sorry if it hurts your feelings.
No, you're not.
No, I really am. No,
What's
I
your
really
intent,
am.
though? What's your intent, both of you?
Well, this is my point. I don't think and this is coming from my Christian background, and this is
Same.
the idea of repentance. And the repentance is an admission of guilt and a turning away
And you
from
can
it.
forgive somebody who doesn't repent.
Yes, you can offer for forgiveness, but that person to apologize, to repent, has to admit guilt.
Offering forgiveness is different than being forgiven.
Right, but you're on the opposite side.
Yes.
Okay. What I'm talking about is when that person admits their fault or apologizes, repents, they're admitting their fault in that situation.
Well, your fault can be a sin of omission where you are doing something in a way that, I mean, we can sin without knowing we're sinning if we're talking biblically speaking here. A sin of commission, one that you do willfully or knowingly, is different than a sin of omission where you don't really understand the harm that your actions have. And those sins of omission, if you do something, I mean, we do stuff all the time because we're humans and we're sinful and we're broken. We have the ability to do things that might hurt other people unknowingly, and you have no intention to do that whatsoever. Your intention isn't what makes that sinful. I mean, if we're going to go in biblically, we're all sinful. We're all broken.
Mhm.
We need Jesus, bottom line, period. So to me, the mindset of being a gracious human and in a selfless way saying, I'm trying to think of and I don't want to get into all the controversial issues, but there are a lot of things that I could say that I would believe to be true on this show that would be hurtful to people. And I'm not saying them to hurt people. But at the same time, there are people in my industry on my side of the aisle who have the exact same profession I do, who would make the exact same statements with an intention to hurt people.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Which is why when she goes and does what she does and says what she says, and she says, I said what I said, but I didn't mean to hurt you, I think that's a very positive thing.
But in the gracious part about that is then saying, you know what? I will take responsibility for this. I will take the blame for this. I will take responsibility for your feelings being hurt.
Yeah, that's good.
But that's an admission of something. That's the admission of guilt that I'm talking about.
It's not an admission. I mean, it's an admission of guilt in the sense
whether or
that
not
we are,
you own it.
Well, it's an admission of guilt if that's what you want to label it, in the sense that she is saying, yes, I know that what I did hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry for that. That's not a retraction on her statement.
No, not at all.
Which is why it's a good, healthy thing to do.
In general, I would agree with you, but in this situation, I wouldn't. And on a person-to-person level, I would agree with you, but in this situation, I wouldn't, because I think that what this ends up doing is setting up a more.
What's hurt by it then?
Well, I would say it encourages that sort of behavior from more students down the line. The idea that somebody owes you an apology because you didn't like what they said.
But she didn't apologize for what she said.
Yeah, but she still apologized, and they may not make that distinction.
But that's on them. That's
my whole point from the beginning. Their offense, taking offense to what she said, is on them.
But when you offer forgiveness, it's much more. Well, that's not.
But she's not offering.
When you offer forgiveness, or if you offer an apology, there is a personal on each side of that. The offering an apology benefits the person who's offering that. The offering of forgiveness benefits the person who's offering the forgiveness on both sides of that issue. So for her to say, I'm sorry, whether they forgive her for that, like we're all talking about biblical Christianity forgiveness here, she's forgiven for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's been done. And whether or not they're going to actually forgive her for that and be like, oh, thank you for clarifying those statements. And thank you for saying to us that you didn't mean to hear. Like, I completely understand where you're coming from now. Like, that's foolish to think that that's going to happen. But that whether they're going to accept that or not shouldn't change her behavior in choosing to do that. And again, she does not have to do it. It was something she elected to do that I think if let me ask you this. If everybody behaved the way Cynthia?
Yes.
I like how you have to reference the page.
Well, we've called her other things.
Where Cindy Loomis If everybody behaved the way she handled this situation, would we be in a better world?
If everybody behaved the way she did in this situation, if they had that same attitude, we wouldn't have this situation.
Well, that's my case closed.
Well, but I could also make the point that if everybody took responsibility for their own feelings and assumed the best in somebody's statements, then we wouldn't be having this conversation either.
My point is that if you're going to choose to behave a certain way because of what everybody else is going to do, like, she can only be responsible for her.
Mhm.
And she said what she said and she stood by it. And if that offends people, if she's truly not out to offend people, if she's truly not out to upset people, then she can stand by her statements and say, if this offends you, I'm sorry, that's not my intention, but this is what I believe. That's the most that she can control. Put it out there and let it be.
Yeah. And to your point, those that were offended can control how they feel about it. They can look at that and they can choose to be mad. They can choose to boo. They can choose to
But they have a
hiss.
right to be upset by it. I mean, if you're somebody who considers yourself to be non-binary and somebody comes out there and says there's two sexes, there's going to be a disagreement there. So, I mean, our worldview, I'll speak for myself, my worldview being that there are two sexes is going to be incompatible with people who believe that there are an infinite amount of sexes, which means that, yes, you can choose on each side to be upset, but if somebody were to come and, good grief, like when people talk about what it means to be a woman, you're going to come tell me that being a woman's so easy that a man can do it. I don't know if that's what the slogan is these days, but I'm just saying, if people want to come in and say that, this is what it means to be a woman and you can put some long hair on and some lipstick and call yourself a woman and that's all it takes, that's pretty offensive to me. I am offended. And they can say, well, this doesn't need to offend you because it doesn't have anything to do with you. But that doesn't stop me from being offended. And I have a right to be. They have a right to their feelings, even though even though I don't necessarily agree with their worldview or their understanding. They can be hurt by that. And the person who has a different worldview can say, I'm not trying to hurt you in this. This is just how I see things.
Yeah, they have the right to be hurt by that, but they don't have the right to assume that hurt was intentional. And if you assume that hurt was
they do have the right. They can assume whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. They have that right in the First Amendment to have that. And which is why her
let me change it to responsibility. You have a responsibility to know how you feel, but at the same time, you can't impute motive on other people. You can't.
You can, though. You're saying you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
But you absolutely can. And it is everywhere all the time.
And it's wrong.
Well, they should apologize for it.
And admit that they were wrong.
My opinion is unchanged, but people agree with all of us. So, Hannah, do you have a thought?
I would have done the same thing that Cynthia did.
Cynthia?
What
if it was Todd?
Cynthia Todd Loomis.
I would have
Mary Todd Lincoln
said what I said, and then after I realized I hurt people's feelings, I would say, I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings. It wasn't my intent, but I still believe that there are two genders, not 50. Sorry if you felt personally attacked. That wasn't my intention.
Moving on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you want to have a bigger discussion about this,
Brad's in charge
let
of
me
the
know.
music, so we're going to keep talking about it.
Brad's like, no,
No.
we are not leaving this until I say we are.
Play the music, Brad.
There it is. Okay, Brad says we're done.
We're done.
The poll, when we come back, should I be sad about my kindergartner's graduation tonight? You can go vote, and Hannah will give us the results in a minute. Don't go away.
One could end up going to prison.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
It's just unacceptable to have baby formula available all over the world except in the United States because of a decision the government made.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloor.com. This is the location for your next flooring purchase. Now, you can go shop the other places, the big box stores, where after you get done buying your new front door and a hammer, which are two things that probably go together on a regular basis at the hardware store, you go to the flooring department and you see what they have. if you want to make sure that you're getting the best quality but the best value with your flooring purchase, I would highly encourage you to check out Michael at Michael's Flooring Outlet. This guy knows what he's doing. He has the best staff in the biz, and it's a locally owned business right here in St. Louis. They are one of us, and when you go support them, you're supporting your neighbor, which is fantastic. Michael's Flooring Outlet has all the different kinds of flooring that you're looking for: tile, vinyl, luxury vinyl plank if you're looking for hardwood or something that mimics hardwood. If you're looking for carpet, especially that Mohawk line of carpet that's the best, you can get it all at Michael's Flooring Outlet. You can find them at any of their 3 locations. All that information is available online at igotfloored.com.
Home values are through the roof with buyers paying way over asking price. You'd love to cash out your home's equity, but you're not quite ready to move, and soaring interest rates make cash out refinancing too expensive. Plus, you'll only get a fraction of your home's equity. It makes no sense. I have a smarter option, Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. And here's the best part. You'll get to the bank with all the cash now and continue living in your home as long as you want. It's life-changing. And Truehold covers all the property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance too. So let's review. Truehold pays you 100% of your home's value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of: travel, pay off debt, or buy that new right-size home on the golf course. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 1-855-300-9993. 1-855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
Attention business owners. This is a public awareness message from the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team. The war against hackers and ransomware is underway. The only way to prevent the war from impacting your business is to speak with the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team immediately. You need to act now. The ThrottleNet cybersecurity team is prepared to protect you against cyber threats. Schedule a meeting right away by visiting throttlenet.com/cyberwar.
Did you know that a recent survey showed that only 29% of working women show basic financial literacy skills compared to 47% of working men? At Heisey Advisory Group, we make it a mission to create an experience that encourages women to become more engaged in the financial process. The financial and investing world can be so puzzling for everyone with so many acronyms, terms, and options to choose from. It can leave people feeling stuck. If there's one thing we know, it's that people just want to be heard and they want a plan that they are comfortable with. That's what we do for our families at Heisey Advisory Group. We help people just like you build a plan with the goal of providing you the freedom to enjoy the best years of your life. Call Heisey Advisory Group today and let us help you remove the worry of running out of money. Call 314-328-6000. Again, that's 314-328-6000.
Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
It's time we demand more for mental health. Join the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and Odyssey's I'm Listening and demand #more for mental health. Get involved. Save lives. Visit moreformentalhealth.org today.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with a new HVAC system and save $50 to $250 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates on qualifying products. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Up-to-the-minute traffic reports, so you don't have to keep looking at your phone. Dependable traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
I saw you dancing in a crowded room. You look so
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I don't know why I run away.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So tonight is the big kindergarten graduation in the Frey household. And yes, I will admit I'm sad about it. And a lot of people commenting on this, making me wonder if maybe I'm just misclassifying my statement on my emotion, but it feels kind of like sadness. So what's the poll say?
110 people voted on whether you should be sad or not about your kindergartner's graduation tonight. 54% of the people said that you should not be sad, and 46% of the people voted that you should be sad.
That's close.
It is pretty close.
I was hoping for a resounding no, you shouldn't be sad. And then I go, okay, I'm sorry.
Should have added more emotions. Just a range of emotions that you could have.
She only gets 4 options.
I know what I feel, and it feels like sadness. I don't know. You said you have sadness, but it's because you have great guilt.
Well, it's I think there was a benefit to when my kids were first born. I was running my own company, and with a business partner.
When your kids were first born, they were also twins. That's a detail that people should understand.
Yes. Yeah, when my kids were first born, there were two of them.
They're still twins.
Yeah, they're still twins. But there was a lot of. We had been married for 7 years, and so going from 0 to 2 is a big transition, and in the midst of trying to do a business and stuff. And I think I've carried over that moment of feeling like I didn't know what to do because there was so much going on that I've never really gotten over it. And so when I hit milestones, I always look back and go, am I doing a good enough job? And sometimes I say, yeah, I think I am. But a lot of times,
I'm doing a great job.
Yeah, most of the time I look in the mirror and I
killing
go, buddy, you're killing it. Do it again today, every morning. Step on that scale. You can do this. But at these times, I'm just talking about like just stupid stuff I do in the morning every day.
Do you really do that?
Put on a shirt.
Have you ever
step
done that?
on the scale and go, you got this, buddy. You got this. No, I don't do that. I don't actually do that every morning. But just having those moments to look back and go, am I doing a good enough job? And I think for the most part, I say, yes, I think I'm doing a good enough job. But it's a very like exposed moment of saying, I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing a good enough job because there is no.
By the time you find out, it's too late to do anything.
Yeah, there's
about
no
it.
like playbook. You just do what you got to do.
You made me think of ask me anything question that I wanted to ask, but I'm not going to be here tomorrow and Friday because my kindergartner has tomorrow and Friday off by herself, and she's sick, so she can't stay home by herself. But I had this funny ask me anything question I want to ask the room real quick. When you're getting undressed to like put your PJs on or you're at home and you're whatever, do you take your top or your bottoms off, like your shirt or your pants off first?
Bottoms.
Oh, pants for sure.
Shirt.
Really?
Well, I think that this is a divider of people.
Man, me and Hannah agree a lot.
But I think I feel like it would be so weird to take my pants off first.
The pants are first. I didn't even thought about going to bed yet, and the pants
We
are
don't
off.
need to talk about it too much.
Okay, I want to read this really sweet comment
I gotta
from
go get the mail.
STL
Pants are going off.
on YouTube. STL says, parents always feel emotional as their kids grow up. That's a good thing. Just wait until your first one is taller than you are.
We're close. We're real close. He's up to my eyebrows probably.
Mm.
And I know that it's just like one massive, 14-year-old boy growth spurt away from going, what the heck just happened here? And once it's gone, it's gone. I was thinking about his little voice, like one day the little boy voice is just gone.
Do kids' voices change their whole life, or is it just one puberty
No, I
moment?
think that it's like at 3:00 on Tuesday. No, I think it's a gradual thing. But the little voice.
I've noticed that about my kids.
Charlie's
yeah.
little voice is gone. He hasn't had a voice change yet, but I just know it's gonna be gone. And it's like that person who I knew and raised is like not there anymore. It's crazy, folks. These kids just keep growing. I keep telling them to stay small, and then they laugh at me and say no. And then it is what it is. All right. I'm getting lots of messages from you people. So send them to the Andy Frey Show Facebook if you want. Lots of pastors messaging me and commenting on our discussion. If you didn't get to hear the whole thing, it started at 1:45 and went throughout the rest of the show. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Kindergarten graduation tonight. I'll share a pic. Mark Rudin Show up next.
Life happens, and suddenly you need to sell your home. When life happens for whatever the reason, you need a real estate agent you can trust.